You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Trinidad, to leave here, boy, you must be mad. This is the land of milk and honey, rum and coke and easy money. While those verses we were singing, alarm bells kept on ringing, pundits on each pulpit saying, oh heart and oh soul decaying. Suddenly we wake up to a living nightmare, not least while electorials ask, how did we ever come to this? But so long we hear it, you got to stand up and be counted. For daily we're intimidated. Every day our next witness silence while we recoil from the violence. In our land there is a crisis, broke police, unruly ISIS, while sweet revenge gangs exacting. Police commissioner still acting Trinbago. It's high time we separate the goat from the sheep. Tell them talk is cheap. Reporting the world when we have to reap. While them police busy playing hide and seek. We're facing the world when we have to reap. Hey, oh yeah, oh, save our land, Trinidad and Tobago. Oh yeah, oh yeah. In our school skits getting on, we're fighting, making porn. Our school girls you won't believe, live MMA they pulling weave. Check the vibes they're living by, dance all slackness, get rich or die. Alkaline to Movado, mention my stroke they don't know. No morals, no ethics, there is a centrifugal black hole. Lord, we must move quick to wake their conscience and save their soul. So long we've been hearing evil triumphs when good men do nothing. No triggers pump while words be fraughting, and while church attendance real low. Protest back plus them casino, while black market prices haggling. Through up ports, big guns they smuggling. Spanish women are hot like their music. Saucy salsa, human traffic, Trinbago. We can't wait. The devil making hay while we sleep. Tell them talk is cheap. We're caught in the world when we have to reap. While we look on them as more mothers who weep. We're caught in the world when we have to reap. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, uh-huh. Now the nation's soul has been revealed. How they find Shannon Banfield, busiest street, yes, in our city. Killed by beasts who show no pity. Now there's fear and trepidation. What is happening to our nation? So I pray this one infraction will propel us into action. Trinbago, the time is now. We have to take our country back while these monsters flow. We cannot run from their attack. That is why I'm still saying, time to stand up and be counted. Our young girls, they're being hunted, not for jobs by institutions, but by clubs for prostitution. prostitution, while for new gas, some arranging on the seas, cargo exchanging in the Gulf, drugs, guns, and women, and the coast that cannot stop them trend. They go, the time is now. Look how the murderers leap, tell them talk is cheap. We're caught in the world when we had to reap. Before more of our daughters, they put us to sleep. Must of this world when we had to reap. Time to stand up and be counted. We must defeat this threat they've mounted. We cannot wait for no messiah, like hero fiddling through the fire. But while the flames we keep romancing, the grim reaper keeps advancing across the land. He casts his shadow, slashing victims to the marrow. Trinlego, the time is now. Look how the price we pay in don't steep. Why stop labor keep? We're caught in the world when we have to reap. We need a fresh new broom for a broad crime sweep. Must stop this world when we have to reap. Save our land, Trinidad and Tobago. Whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Help! Somebody help me! I'm looking for jackass. Boy, I tired go around the country now. I don't know what to do again. Looking to buy a donkey to sell coconut in tongue. Can't afford to buy a pickup to tote me nuts around. So I gone up in the country looking for jackass to buy. But everybody I check, just keep on telling me. They say up here do a donkey, aliment a plenty. Up here do a donkey, aliment a plenty. If you want to see real donkey, aliment a plenty. If you want to find real donkey, aliment a plenty. Donkey for sewing day, donkey for sewing day, donkey for sewing day, donkey for sewing day, donkey with PhD, doctorate, law degree, donkey that dance for sew, don't know from head to toe, looking for a donkey. You want to find real donkey? Fat donkey, maga donkey, any kind you can get it. Oh, yeah. I went down south in Rancho and also Lopino. Fight up Mondo Nevo and Brasso Seco. They say it have a old man, he bound to have a few. But when I check the old man, he and all same too. He say up here do a donkey, aliment a plenty. Up here do a donkey, aliment a plenty. If you want to see real donkey, aliment a plenty. If you want to find real donkey, aliment a plenty. Donkey for sewing day, donkey for sewing day, donkey for sewing day, donkey for sewing day, donkey with weave and rats, even bald head jackass, donkey that's straight and gay, donkey that old and grey, looking for a donkey. You're looking for a donkey. I know shiny donkey. I know what black donkey, grey donkey. What are you telling me about? Oh yeah. Hey yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder if I rain happen. They say that donkey looking like Saddam and some looking like Madam. Long time had plenty donkey all over the country. You coulda buy 2 or 3, easy. But since it have a shortage of jackass, so they say, just wait until election when they come out to pray. Up here do a donkey, Parliament a plenty. Oh, Pedro a donkey. Parliament a plenty. If you're looking for a donkey, Parliament a plenty. If you want to see real donkey, Parliament a plenty. Donkey for sewing day. Donkey for sewing day. Donkey for sewing day. Donkey for sewing day. Donkey in suit and tie, who love the mama guy. Drunk and corrupt donkey, that like to lie plenty. Looking for a donkey. So if you want to find real donkey in right road, oh boy, you have to have national pride. Up in the red house now, they want back up there. I never go up there before. Boy, ask people now. Looking for a donkey. You up and down the country. I feel like go check out my partner Ronnie, you know. The old donkey man, he must know where I could get some. Because they looking to send me in prison or something, you know.
Should Yes, we will rise again. TNT will rise again. I honestly believe TNT will rise again. Yes, we will rise again. TNT will rise again and again and again and again. Say you can't find work to do, so you're grieving, Lord. Things hard in Trinidad. She has nothing to offer you, so you're leaving God. Things bad, bad, bad in Trinidad. But before you leave, brother, make up your mind to work like a mule. Sister, 2 jobs 1 time. Yet you're still telling me that I should go all day. No way, Jose. Because I pledge, yes, I pledge to serve my country, Tobago and Trinidad. I pledge, now that she needs me, I will work hard. Now let's get down to serious work. Stop your crying, Lord. Things hard in Trinidad, and bring back the ship afloat. No denying God. Things bad, bad, bad in Trinidad. If I work with you, brother, you work with me. Together we could rebuild sweet TNT in a gesture of love. Let us all join our hands and sing. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I pledge to serve my country, Tobago and Trinidad. I
Nothing must stop you, yes. When God bless a man, Satan may attack you, yes. When God bless a man, he's gonna back you, yes. When God bless a man, that man must stand, he must stand AI. Who God bless, none can curse. His divine favor man can reverse. Can reverse. Even if they do their worst. Their worst, when God bless a man, nothing must stop you, yes. When God bless a man, Satan may attack you, yes. When God bless a man, he's gonna back you, yes. When God bless a man, that man must stand, he must stand, I say. If you answer his call, he will lift you up. If you fall, hey, hey, hey. If you fall, just give him your all, hey. When God bless a man, should be nobody, nothing must stop you, my friend. When God bless a man, Satan may attack you, yes. When God bless a man, he's gonna back you, yes. When God bless a man, that man must stand, he must stand, I say, yeah. man must stand. He must stand. Hey. Nothing must stop you. Jehovah said he's gonna back you, my friend. Oh yes, oh yes. Satan may try to attack you. That man must stand, he must stand, he must stand. Hey.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. So sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the village with the DAT Triplets. We originate, we don't imitate. We welcome each and every one. Doesn't matter what color t-shirt you wear a mauve t-shirt, a salmon t-shirt, a burgundy t-shirt. Don't care what t-shirt you wear, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome in the village with the DAT Triplet on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, doesn't matter what planet you're from Mazatanius, Xenoranius, Venuranius, Saturnanius, any planet you're from, you're welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Let me say a special welcome to no other than Diana, Waveney, Stormy, The Storm, Ben Skin, Greta, the Bajan, the Trinbagonian, the poet, the poetess from Barbados, close to St. Catherine, on your way to Nelson Street, from St. Args or St. Orgs in Tonapuna, on your way to Port of Spain, passing through St. Augustine, no other than Diana, Waveney, Benskin, McDonald, boy.
I don't know about no St. Catherine. I don't know nothing passing near to Port of Spain, because as far as I know, St. Augustine on the other side ain't going down Port of Spain way.
Okay.
And what else you telling me? If I wear a multicolored T-shirt now, I could come in.
Oh, of course, doesn't matter.
Oh, you hear now the new thing is you can change your definition on your birth paper, your marriage certificate, your death certificate, and some other thing, driver's license. I think you can choose X or Z, gender X.
Okay. Well, all right. Times changing. Times
That's
changing.
that's a law that passed. So I said gender X boy. Woo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know it was.
Okay.
Let me say
All
welcome.
right.
No other than Thomas E., the Commissioner of Newark, Marshall Nisbet from Sally Bay, close to Toko, on your way to Manzanilla,
Oh
coming
God.
back past Piaco Airport. If you want to stop and take a BOAC or a BWIA that has turned into Cal, Thomas E. Marshall Nisbet, boy. Tommy, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm sure you're going to lose a lot of people. They're not going to know exactly what you're talking about, but I guess
Well, I
you probably
mean,
know better than.
you know what Sally Bay is?
BOAC. Slim. You know long BOAC and BOAC. That's when Adam was a baby.
No, 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 no. There are plenty people. There are plenty people in the chat know about BOAC.
BOAC.
Yes,
And then and
BWIA.
Pana, I had them fancy bags, them
Yeah,
blue bag with Pana.
BWIA. Going to wait in the airport.
BOAC boy. I said you old boy. Oh God.
No, it's not that I old. It's just that these things are historic things in the country, and you need to do some. You need to do some studying. History.
BOAC boy.
Yeah, BOAC, boy. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
Yeah,
TD Jakes look alike. You remember BOAC?
of course. I'm
Of course.
a little bit more dated than you two.
Yeah, I mean, if you born in Trinidad and you don't know about BOAC, you need to go back to school and learn your
Well,
history.
I know about BOAC. I might have traveled on one from Barbados to Trinidad as a young girl, 8, 9 years old, when they sent me back. But that BOAC, he kick himself out. BOAC, Tommy,
Yeah, I remember BOAC, but BOAC is many moons ago.
many moons ago.
As a
Yeah,
matter,
but listen, those are historic things.
BOAC is as old as Dr. Rowley.
No,
Oh,
but
yo,
these are historic moments in Trinidad and Tobago. All right. What is it called? What British Overseas Airways Corporation? That's what it was called.
yeah, that's what that is.
something like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And BWS bunked to wait in the airport.
No,
Yeah,
I used to say, but will it arrive?
Yeah, somebody said bunked. At least my wife reminded me last night. It's bunked to wait to the airport.
And Delta doesn't ever leave the airport.
But it said Caribbean Airlines is very good now with the on time. Very, very good.
And the customer service is nice and let me tell you when you well I just only do business class. I ain't showing off but I just only do business class. Oh Miss McDonald, and then I'm like, damn, there's English people serving me up in here.
No. Carlos do a good thing. I just want Carl to be competitive with the other airlines, with like JetBlue and all them other
Jet
airlines. You know what I mean?
Jet who?
JetBlue.
If they give me a free ticket for life, I ain't going on JetBlue no more.
One
but
pound.
51 years ago when I came to this country, was Pan Am makes the going great.
Yep.
Yes, Panam, and
No,
what
I
was the
came
other
on BB.
one? There was another one by
Madon.
no, there was another
Liat.
one. Panam. Nah, Liat is local. Liat is
Oh,
local.
I thought you talking about
Nah, boy, it was another.
KLM.
Nah, it wasn't KLM. Something close to that.
Oh, I know that.
I
Ow.
yeah. Huh?
They have Copa and they have but
Copa was
Copa takes you
Panama.
to
There was the
Panama.
next one, boy, yeah. And you remember when you used to go in the airport and you go to the waving gallery?
Of course,
Yeah.
those were
Yeah.
the days.
Well,
People used to be crying and thing, but I cried many times. Yes.
Oh yeah,
I see my
you
family
can up
going
the
out
step.
and
You
thing,
can up
boy.
the step. You reach halfway, you wave.
Eh,
When you reach halfway up the step, you wave. You reach the next half, you wave. When
yeah,
you reach to the
yeah,
top, you stand up before you go into the plane and you wave.
yeah.
uh,
Them was good days, boy. Them was real good days, boy.
and
That
I
was
I
like,
will see people come in like they come in to meet somebody, but like they come from far, like they maybe must come from way down south, and they come and they have food and they sharing out food, saying they're having a picnic waiting for this person to come in.
yeah, them days
But when
was
I
them
came
days.
to the US, it was an excursion, boy.
Mm,
You rent a minivan. My whole
mm.
clip rent a minivan and come to the airport. That's,
You know,
don't forget that.
Tommy, it's interesting you say that, right? Like when we left Chumaka Claventel, it was me and my other three siblings. And my brother at Taylor, right? The man make a serious polyester suit for we, right? And my brother in this country now, I'm gonna just fast forward. When we got to this country, my brother says, when we reach in Kennedy, he was hurrying me into the car. He said, "Oh, come quick, oh, go in the car quick." Because they only have them two sisters, Polly and Esther. My brother has a fashion plate, you know what I mean? And he was one of the bigger ones, and he was already in this country, right? He said, "Oh, come quick. Oh, come and go in the car. I want them two sisters, Polly and Esther." When I hear you have one of them two sisters, I say, "What the man talking about?" He said, Polly and Esther, boy. And I thought that suit was...
But in Trinidad, you have on some dans. But when
What?
you get here, they want to hide it.
You know, when I leave Chumacak, so, and boy, I walking down the steps. We had also walk down the steps to go to the car, boy. Boy, I stepping in style, boy. I stepping in. I had to ask my brother if we have any pictures from them time, boy.
Oh God, I said, please don't. I mean, we had enough of you and your little boom shorts running.
No, but I listen. I have some other pictures out of pop when we take some pictures in the yard up in Snake Valley. I have some pictures in the yard when I was maybe about 4 or 5, boy. And I have on a Saga boy stance, boy. But I ain't gonna lie, boy. We look like we were hungry there. You know what I mean? We look like we were some, they used to say them Biafran. They used to call me Biafran one time.
Oh boy, they mean with the big head and the big belly?
Yeah, we look different.
I remember when I came, it was a nighttime. I landed at JFK, but my impression of New York City was I said, whoa, what a Christmas tree. It looked like a Christmas tree to me. But when the day opened up, again, a recall relay. When the day opened up, Tommy, what you be doing? I saw the filth and then my cousin took me down to the South Bronx and I saw the dilapidated buildings and I was like, and then I had to catch a train and go to school myself. I came here on a Saturday. Someone took me into Manhattan via the Metro North and the subway to the school I was going to. Sunday, and then Monday I was on my own.
So,
I was on my own.
So, of course, first in the village was no other than Nadia. Nadia, good night, everyone. Good night to you, Nadia. Nadia was also second. Good night, Ansem. Blue emoji. She rationing the emojis tonight. She subtract a few of the emojis from last time. So she decided to ration the emojis for me. But when it comes to Tommy,
Echo again.
Tommy getting feedback from you.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me see if I can fix that.
When it comes to Tommy,
Tommy,
she
we
get
recorded.
one set of emojis, but you see even ration Diana more emojis too, yes? Look.
Yeah, you need to ration them. I need to lose about 10 of them.
Yeah. Nadia, you're rationing emojis tonight, girl. Tonight is our ration night. Nadia come first, second, third, fourth. She said good night to all the ladies, Nadia just separate the ladies and the men, And then she said later and she gone. She go, hey, you come in second, boy. The love doctor is back.
Oh.
The love doctor is back, boy. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Really welcome. Great love is all I bring. The love doctor, boy. Love doctor back.
Hey, Rennie, this 2023. Love ain't working these days. All right, you can't take it nowhere and buy nothing with it, eh? All right, go.
I don't think that what Rennie means, though.
Love ain't working.
Rennie says strength and courage to all. Great is the Almighty. With him, nothing is impossible. To all. Great is the Almighty. With him, nothing is impossible. Yeah. We still getting that.
Diana, love work in the beginning and I'm going to work to
it. Need paper.
You're going to feedback from me still?
Yeah, we still getting feedback. Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
it?
we still
Yeah.
hear you, feedback.
I don't understand. Okay, I'll go out and come back in.
Yeah. Rennie, good evening, Nadia. Since last year I ain't hear you, girl.
Rennie, good evening.
Good evening to Keisha. Yeah, Rennie saying good. Rennie saying all kind of things to all the ladies. Respect to the panel walls, Lady Diana, Mr. Tommy. Hey, boy, Rennie putting handle to your name, but Judy, welcome. Greetings on STEM, Diana, Tommy. Welcome to another blessed evening. Yeah. Judy say good evening, all village families of the universe. Oh God, Judy getting oh God, Judy getting plenty emojis there, but she outdoing Dan, she outdoing Nadia, yes. Oh, she had yellow, red, purple.
And
She
who
has
gave and who give
some
it
type of,
Nadia?
no Judy, some type of person there with like three hearts on their face, four of them. Oh God, I know, boy. Judy, boy. Judy in a great mood tonight, boy.
Yeah, New Year.
Yeah, New Year, new me, boy.
Mm.
She even getting Rennie Mohammed all kind of. I mean, look like she gave Rennie Mohammed two angry men and a mad woman. Look like that.
And Rennie Mohammed, and
You
Rennie,
love
Rennie,
doctor, right?
he love doctor. I tell you, that love thing ain't working.
Yeah, highly
I'm
inside
being
what tax.
stale.
What kind of emoji highly getting there? What is that?
I don't
You
know.
know what that means?
Let me
What?
see. Put it up there.
No, look it on the screen.
I
What does
and
that mean?
I. You say I, and I.
Oh,
Rastafari.
yeah. Hey. Highly has just said that, right? So, highly, Um, a lot of people giving the Minister of National Security flack for his wrongdousness, right? A lot of them. But let me ask you a question. When the Rastaman of them say, you know, um, what they say? I man, I and I, Jah
Mm-hmm.
Selassie I, Rastafari, you know, back whatever, for
Forward
forward,
never.
forward ever, backward never. How come? I mean, people never used to give them thunder for that.
But Rastafari is a word in the dictionary.
No, but the words they use, I mean,
But they're
you know.
using it amongst themselves, but they're not on an official forum in an official
Oh,
capacity.
of course they use that in official forum.
Oh, okay.
I and I, Jah Rastafari. I
Yeah.
and I is a word,
That's slang.
but is a word. I
And
and I
they're
is a
not.
word.
Is a
Yeah,
word, honey?
I and I. Look, highly just right today. I and I. You remember
Oh,
when
Lord.
the Trinidad, the fellow went by the Trinidadian for Christmas?
Mm.
The fellow knock on the door and he say, "Who there?" He says, "I and I, Jah Selassie I, Rastafari." The Trinidadian tell him it's
Mm.
too much all you. You remember that?
Mm.
All right.
Hmm.
Judy, Judy want to know how you're doing.
Look, Wikipedia says I and I may refer to an expression in Rastafari vocabulary.
So look at that. It in there. You
Right.
see?
But all how I
Mhm.
look, I can't find righteousness.
Oh, okay.
I ask Siri, what is the opposite of righteousness? I ask, what's your name? Alexa? Alexa answer me yet. So must you
Mm.
understand me.
I'm
But
back in. Am I still echoing?
nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, should be all right now.
Um, Eileen says Watax WZYE TV and sound. Highly, but you know something though? You actually made a very fantabulous, splendiferous, marvelous,
Oh Lord.
tremendous,
Here we
fantastic,
go.
spectacular effort in order to get my name correct. It's actually, if you drop the T, Eileen, then you will have spelled my name correctly. You're one of the few guys. So you seem like you're an
Aunt,
intelligent person.
well, Aunt, oh my God.
Yeah. You seem like you're
Oh,
an intelligent person, highly. You understand? Yeah. So
really?
it's on.
Wait, what?
Mhm. What
Tommy
is it?
and Benskin, the Storm, Stormy, Diana.
Yeah. But he actually coined it correctly. Ben Skin, the storm, stormy Diana.
Storm.
Yeah.
Oh, he shouting Stormy too?
Yeah. He certain stormy. You understand? Yeah.
Mm.
I know. I see Judy just putting up some emojis there. I know them. Them is now, right? I know the one look
Mm,
like the thumbs up. You understand? But you know, in
mm,
different countries, in wait, was it again, boy? Some country you have to be careful with thumbs up, you know.
mm.
Yeah, yeah, because it is
It's considered an
It's an
insult.
insult.
yeah, it's considered an insult. Yeah, yeah, you know, you go on there, you tell a person thumbs up, and might lick you down or something. Yeah, yeah, highly cover me while you're sleeping. Yeah, yeah, all the time. Hey, look, we partner Albert Montuno come back. Albert, how you going, partner? How everything? Highly say, handsome Haron. You see, no,
Yeah,
highly.
they say some cultures thumbs up indicates that something is good or well done. But in Italy, Greece, Iran, and Iraq,
Right.
it is
Yeah, 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 yeah.
insulting.
Insulting. Yeah, correct is right. Correct is right. So
You go down Iraq, don't wear a hijab and stick and then tell them thumbs up. Oh Lord,
yeah, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
you ain't
Highly,
coming back at all, boy.
yeah, I was just
Iran.
complimenting him. I was just complimenting Highly on the spelling of my name. Correct? And two
Hmm.
comments down or three comments down, four comments down, he goes back to his real self. Anslem. Anselem. He said Anselm had on his stone crusher, bell bottom pants, and his spandex jersey. But he had no spandex back then, but
Stone. What were you saying?
yeah, Anselm had on his stone crusher, bell bottom pants, and his spandex jersey. You had no spandex back then? With you. Eh?
Yeah, they had something called Terraline.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And
And
something
you have
called
a
crimpling too.
Terraline
Crimpling.
shirt, you're in.
It had crimpling too.
Crimpoline?
Yeah. That was something from out that Chumakak. I don't know. So Raulika spelled peace, eh?
Oh Lord. There you go.
You really think he spelled that incorrectly because he couldn't spell it?
He
Of
taking a
course, he knows what
jab.
he's doing.
He knows what he's
He
doing.
knows exactly what he's doing.
He knows
Mhm.
exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, listen, the guy's a political genius.
Yeah, you
That's
see
a
the distraction.
distraction.
Correct, correct,
Uh,
correct, correct, correct. Everybody's like, oh God, they have all these memes. Rowdy can't spell peace. I mean, come on now, man. Oh God, all they
That's,
for the debate over and over.
if
Right?
you want to know who's listening, if you know what who's listening, you have to throw them a bone.
Okay, okay.
mhm.
All right. So you throw them a bone and they take it. You throw them a bone and
Distraction,
Yeah, they
boy.
take it.
yeah. At least when I went to Detroit, I said, damn, there's a place worse than the beaten boy. Detroit is pure madness, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Boy, all
Mhm,
is go place. It are places across this country when you go,
mhm.
you ain't go even think about. When you think about Trinidad, you go say it's a paradise.
Oh yes.
It's a paradise. When you compare to people say, boy, they ain't getting water for 6 months and things. Remember in Detroit, what kind of water they used to get?
Mhm.
Remember one
This,
time?
and just recently again in Flint, Michigan.
Flint.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Flint, Michigan, correct is right.
Yeah. Just recently
Right there,
again.
right there. We had a problem not long ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, they had a big water problem. Big water problem. And
yeah.
Detroit, little place. Little place.
No,
You
it's
understand?
not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Albert Montano say, Diana, check the Ansem dictionary. You'll find the word chumakak. You will see the word chumakak trying to tell you. What? Albert, you see Albert trying to insult people from Chumakak. You see? You see?
Oh.
Albert, what do you mean by that, Albert? Yeah, yeah. Oh God, Judy, but God, Judy say Rowley's a political demon. Nah, Judy, I don't think so, man. Now, the the last sentence is debatable. The worst PNM TNT ever passed through. So he's saying
Oh,
Dr. Robbie
yeah.
was on George Chambers?
What do you say?
Judy's saying the worst PMTNT ever passed through. Dr. Rowley was worse than George Chambers?
Absolutely.
Oh, eh?
Chambers wasn't so dense as they really thought.
No, yeah. Chambers was. So, Dr. Rowley was, all right, let me call them off.
How did
Well, we know
Chambers
that.
get it? Chambers inherited it after who?
Eric.
Eric. Yeah,
So
Eric.
I don't think he really wanted it. Ceremonially. He went through the motions.
Nah, Chambers was doing good.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying if they found him not to be charismatic, he probably because of how he inherited the office. Some people would like to be in politics, but they don't want to be no prime minister.
It don't matter who you put in Trinidad, whether they're doing good or they're doing good. Somebody or some group will find something wrong with them.
But if they're not doing the right thing and you're attacking the policies that are not good, like Anselm attacked the we attacked what you call the exemption policy. Yeah, I'm not attacking the government, we're attacking the policies that are causing people to suffer.
Well, look at Robbie. Robbie get such a bad rap, a bum rap that they even tried to assassinate him in office.
Who's that?
A&R Robinson.
The guy? Oh, A&R Robinson? Oh.
But Tommy, when now came into power, them policies now bring into power, they boy. Oh God, boy. That
they thought they were draconian. They thought it was thought that it was draconian, but guess what? Sometimes you have to realize that serious disease needs serious medicine.
Yeah, but
Trinidad was in a state where they needed.
But Tommy, you know something? Sometimes instead of giving me 10 milligrams at the first time, right out the bat, give me 2.5, then 5, then 7.5, then 10. But when you give me 10 one time, and the day before I wasn't getting, I was taking 0. It hard, but it hard.
Yeah, but sometimes what would keep you alive?
No, I hear what you're saying. But the 5 could be manageable with other things put together. You understand? We could try the 5 or we could try the 2.5 and put other things with it and see how we go manage it. If that ain't work, we increase it. If that ain't work, we increase it till we get where we want to go. Without a help.
Hindsight does produce 20/20 vision, and many people in hindsight realize that many things Robbie was trying to implement would have made for a better society.
Well, of course, years later, yeah, but when you have people who working 2 hours a day for 8 hours pay, and them doing that for years upon years, right? And Friday you leave work, you work 2 hours, you go and pull bull, right? And everything good. And then Monday, you have to come and work from 9 till 2 o'clock. You understand? Boy, that is a drastic change, especially for Trinity. In Trinidad, if it was outside of Trinidad, it's a different story, but in Trinidad. So, folks, of course, it's about 6:58 p.m. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Is Diana, Tommy, Ansem, and you in the village on WZYE 95.9 FM. We're going to go for a quick station identification. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
All right, this thing is only getting me a little problems here, but it's okay. We'll fix it. No. That's not what we want. We want to get out of there. We want to get this right here.
the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. I know everything must change, but I still love the old time days. Used to be everyone could afford to live right, just to feel nice, didn't need no paradise. Now open your eyes, look around, smoke in the city, and what was pretty, crying out for sympathy. So bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. I know everything must change, but I still love the old time days. Used to be everyone cared for each other, lived like brothers, respected one another. In times gone by, we used to share, together we'd make do. And if I draw a susu, what was mine was yours too. I know them days done pass and gone, and I know that life must carry on. But if I must join in with the pack, then I going back, yeah, yeah, back to the old time days, back to them old time ways. I know everything must change, but I still love the old time days. Yes, bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. I know everything must change, but I still love the old time days. Bring it back, bring it back. Just bring it back, bring it back. Bring it back, bring it back.
And of course, we will like to bring back the old time days. We want to bring back.
I really want to know if it's before or after Eric Williams.
What was that?
The old time days there. Is it before or after Eric Williams?
We just want to bring back the old time days. We really doesn't matter before or after. Them was good times. Julie said Chambers as a saint. Highly say Rowley is the worst for sure. Right? I mean, if we had to rank the prime ministers in Trinidad and Tobago, so we had Eric Williams, Chambers, we had A.N.I. Robinson, Patrick Manning,
Right.
Asdeo Pandey,
Prasad.
Kamala Prasad Besessa, and Keith Rowley. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How would we rank those prime ministers? If you had to rank them, Tommy, how would you rank those prime ministers?
That's a tough call, but I know one man that high up on the totem pole is Manen. Even though people say this and say that about him, he was a good one.
Manning?
He's a good one.
So you put Manning one? You put Manning one?
I don't know. There are those who will say that is one.
All right, let's say we go put Manning one. Who's two?
Defi.
All right, Eric Williams two. Who's three?
Tommy silent.
I'm thinking is between Silver Fox and Robbie.
All right, let me say Silver Fox is 3 and Robbie is 4. Number 5. Yeah, 3
Who's
more to go.
left?
Yeah, Chambers, Rowley, and Kamala.
Chambers,
Chambers is
Kamla,
5.
then Rowley.
Oh God, okay.
Ooh,
Okay. All right. So Diana,
me.
where Diana? Diana, let me hear you.
Who me? No,
Yeah.
I no mine. I would not give. It won't be accurate.
No, God, we just from what you know. From what you know.
All right, let me go.
Yeah, from what you know.
But because I grew up under Eric Williams, I am biased to Eric Williams.
All right, 1.
Then I would say Manning
2.
from all what I heard.
2. So
Number three.
you want Tommy lock and stock and barrel so far. Go ahead. 3.
Number three, from what I heard, I would say it's Robinson.
Okay, what?
Number four,
You're cooking with
I will
gas.
give it to Pandey.
Oh God, you want Tommy lock, stock, and barrel, boy. What?
And
Go ahead.
number five, I will give it to Rowley.
All right. Number 5 is Rowley. Okay. Number 6.
Mrs. KPB for she slave master statement.
Okay. Kamala Prasad and then so Chambers is 7.
All right.
All right. I think when you're looking at it, right? I have a tie for last place.
So you're gonna start from the bottom and come up. Let me
Yeah, I
hear
have a
you.
tie. Yeah. Kamala and Rowley.
Oh God.
A tie for last place. Right? And I will say in 5th place, since we have a tie, we have no 6th place, right? 5th place. Right? I will give it to A&R Robinson. In 4th place, I will give it to George Chambers. And coming down the line is Pandey,
Silver Fox
Manning,
3,
and Williams.
Manning 2, Williams 1.
Williams. Yeah. That's how it is. So Judy says, Heidi says, A&R Robinson 1, Manning 2, Eric 3, Kamala 4, and Rowley last. Judy, you had to finish it off, man. You have Dr. Eric Williams, 1, then Manning, then Pandey, then Kamala. So we want, and you know what, boy? If all are listening out there, we don't mind taking calls. The number is on the thing. Call us and let us know how you will rank the 7 prime ministers of Trinidad.
How you rate the 7?
How you will rate the
And
7?
State the 7 for them again. Eric.
Again, the 7 is Eric Williams.
Eric Chambers.
Go ahead,
In the order they serve. In the order they serve. Eric Chambers, Robbie, Manning.
No, Pandey first. Pandey then Manning.
No, Manning was in there before Pandey, and then Pandey.
Oh yeah. Correct is right. Go ahead, Tommy. Correct is right.
Manning, Pandey. Who else we have? I said Chambers already, right? Right. Chambers was second.
You ain't say Rowley
Manning.
yet. And Kamala.
No, them is the last two. But I'm talking about before them. We had
Chambers. You didn't say Chambers.
Chambers was right after Eric. Eric Chambers.
Yeah.
After Chambers was Robbie. That's number 3.
Yeah.
Then after Robbie we had Manning. Then after Manning we had Pandey.
Yes.
After Pandey we had Manning again. And then we had KPB. And then we had Rowley.
Right. Judy said it have absolutely no place. But you,
Oh no.
we ranking. We had a rank. I mean,
Oh no.
we had a rank. How do you rank the prime ministers in the history of Trinidad and Tobago? Right?
Only leave my prime minister alone, please. Only give that man a hard time that the man spelling the word wrong. What's wrong with all you?
But I will think that the person who have had the most difficult time as a prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago is Prime Minister Rowley.
He's had the most challenging governance, but at the same time, he had a chance to really show what he's made of and what he showed us.
Nah, he didn't show us much. He didn't show us much. I think he had a great opportunity to be
shine.
A transformational leader in Trinidad and Tobago, but he ended up being a transactional leader as opposed to be a transformational leader. Right? He had a great opportunity to do things, and he just decided to build more buildings. Renovate the Red House, renovate the president's house. The president mustn't even live there. Renovate the Whitehall, renovate the prime minister place in Tobago, right? Build more bridges, build more roads. But they are renovating the Port of Spain General Hospital.
But
right?
Could they expect more people to get sick?
Moreover, he had a chance to show some more compassion for the citizens. He dropped the ball.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
As I said, I thought he had an opportunity to be a transformational leader in Trinidad and Tobago. Transformational. I mean, you had to do things that you can't continue to do the status quo, but it wasn't transformational at all. It was very transactional. And
another thing too, you would expect one to say what they mean and mean what they say.
Yeah. That's the next thing. Be consistent with your utterances.
Right.
And what has happened is that the politics in Trinidad and Tobago has denigrated to the sub-basement, where all we do is call people names. Right? The name calling has elevated to a level of disrespect on both sides of the political divide.
But that's all they just go in Parliament and do and talk about who horning who and who. That's all they seem to do. But you know what? Something, I all it don't come for me. Okay, or like them in the chat. In defense of Dr. Rowley, sometimes you have to look at the man age. He might, easily aggravated. Them ages.
No. Sorry. Sorry.
You don't think that's what it is?
No. Sorry.
I think youth is more hot-headed than senior.
No. I'm talking about hot-headed versus having the patience for certain things. Because at my age, I don't have the patience for certain things, right? So I understand when he's like, "Oh my God, did I tell you so and so already?"
Hold on.
It is not prepared to accept. That is what it was. We just were not prepared to accept that. And Mr. Speaker, you don't know the trouble I see. You don't know the trouble I see. I have had to live with that for 12 years. When you can't have your way, and when he cannot have his way, Mr. Speaker, his method is to bully. That's what it is. His method is to bully you. That is what I fought against. That is why his infamy was terminated. Mr. Speaker, we do not tolerate bullying in the secondary school system. We're not tolerating bullying in the cabinet. We're not tolerating it. And if the member for Diego Martin West wishes a cabinet in which bullying is the order of the day, he's going to have to form that cabinet himself. It ain't going to happen in this one.
You see, and that's exactly what happened. You see? So, I mean, people can say what they want to know. The man was very factual, and it's truth. It's truth to power.
And so you teach organizational business, right? I have run my own company, small company. So the management style trickles from up downward, right? If you're autocratic, democratic, participative, whatever style. So perhaps, I don't know, he's not getting foot soldiers to subscribe to his style of management, so it frustrates him.
No. He has foot soldiers.
are they subscribing wholeheartedly to his style of
Yes, they are.
management?
Yes, they are. They are. Who
Yeah.
challenged him for the leader of the party?
I don't know. Besides Nunes, share who else?
Anybody within the party, within the cabinet, within the parliament, any of them challenge him for the political leader?
Nope.
They are his foot soldiers.
Well, when you are in charge, and it's the same thing on the other side too, you know. The UNC, nobody didn't challenge from within, right? The inside, nobody didn't challenge Kamala Persad-Bissessar. You see, that's part of the problem we have in Trinidad, and I just call it politicians in HGD. We had A&R Robinson, who was an active politician, sitting in the parliament, right? Became president. We have Christine Kangaloo, an active politician, sitting in the parliament, nominated to become president. And all in a sudden, right? We believe that we shouldn't have an active parliamentarian becoming the president, right? And people will say, well, that happened years ago, back then. But there's precedent, right? A precedent was already set. When a precedent is set, people follow that, right? Another thing is this. Think about this, right? I'm a supporter of the PNM. Everybody know that. I'm a full 100% supporter of the PNM. I don't hide. Me and I hide to tell nobody that. But think about this. In Tobago, people want Fali to call a new election, right? They want him to call an election. How come some of them same people don't want the PNM to call an election in Trinidad, a new election?
And that is the problem there.
Think about that. So, all right, I'm a supporter of the PNM, so I'm in Trinidad, and the UNC wants a new election, right? I tell the UNC, boy, all you go so, we ain't calling no election, right? But them same people going over to Tobago and saying to Fali, all you need to call a new election. How come?
That is the divisiveness that they've been able.
Deceitful and disingenuous. That's why we in Trinidad and Tobago, that's why our politics is very immature. You want somebody to call it, right? But right in your backyard, you don't want them to call it when the other people in your backyard calling for them to call it. But what you expect the UNC to say? The UNC want you to call an election, right?
But they still think Tobago is a ward, you know, so they want to treat them as such.
Yeah, but and in Tobago, the PNM wants the PDP or the independents to call a new election. But listen to this. What really happened to the case in court? Did they take it to court?
Who take who?
Well, they said the independents, it's supposed to be a new election because they're independents. What happened? I hear nothing happen. What happened?
To take who to court? I don't know you talking about.
When they resigned from the PDP and they became independents, they were saying that now that they have become independents, right, they can no longer govern the THA because they are now independents. So
but didn't Charles explain that?
No, but yeah, he explained it. But what I'm saying is that we ain't hear nothing about it since.
So perhaps it has been solved, squashed and solved, dissolved.
We ain't hear nothing about it.
But ain't somebody resigned from the treasury something, sir?
No, somebody resigned from the PDP. The treasurer of the PDP resigned.
Okay.
Right? And let me see. I have that somewhere. I'll find that. The treasurer. But I mean, it's sort of unbelievable that you just have a new executive and the treasurer resigning already. I mean, make it make sense now. And I heard, it's my understanding, the person didn't just resign as the treasurer, they resigned from the PDP too.
From the party itself?
They resigned from the party itself too, yeah.
Oh boy. So where does that leave the PDP?
Well, I mean, they're still in existence. I mean,
The
But
founder,
did this person have a role in the THA also?
nope.
I don't
Oh,
know that.
oh.
Yeah, but that person was the treasurer of the new treasurer of the PDP.
So who's going to be the treasurer now?
Well, that's a good question.
But who really cares?
Call
Oh,
call
damn, Tommy.
call your partner and ask him now.
Who, me? He don't talk to me no
Yeah.
more.
No, come on, you're lying.
He's
You serious?
he don't talk to me.
Really?
Watson Solomon Juke. You just cast aside the storm. That's not
No, no,
good.
no. Maybe he busy.
Yeah, he busy.
I think that's more like it. You're
Yeah,
just
he busy mashing up thing.
Hmm.
oh
Dr. Masha.
God. Well, you're calling him man. You know why are you calling him Doctor Mashup?
Is you give him a title.
It's I when I give him
Yeah?
that title.
Yeah, you want to talk about people calling people names in Trinidad. Who call Dr. Mashup? You label, you coin him that.
No, but
And
that's not a vulgar name.
Dr.
and you have
Mashup.
these special song too, oh Lord, the whole thing, mash up, the whole thing,
Yeah,
Lord. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
party done. No, the party done.
party
That's what
done.
you
You know,
see. Them PNMites, don't let them get a juice on you, you know, they'll use it to strangle you.
it is what it
I,
is.
I, I yeah, I was under the impression that we had some people who could have an impact on the politics in Trinidad because people was looking for change,
Yep.
right? People
Mm-hmm.
was looking for parties to have an impact on Trinidad and Tobago,
Hmm.
you know, and the whole thing just mash up.
Highly, so you don't like the name Solomon.
No,
Highly, why you
no,
don't like
Solomon,
Solomon?
Solomon is biblical.
That wasn't a man in the Bible.
It was a
No,
great
Solomon
king.
was biblical, right?
Mm.
Wasn't it
He
biblical?
was a wise one.
Who sit down on the throne for 40 years?
I don't know.
You told me?
Highly saying
I'm not sure if it's Solomon. Somebody gonna have to enlighten me. It's
Who sit
Solomon?
down on the throne?
that? Yeah,
Who sit down on the throne for 40 years, Highly?
who highly talking about?
I know Solomon was a wise man.
Yeah, and if it's he that sit down on the throne for 40 years, he was real constipated.
Hmm.
Judy said it goes to show that Tobagonians divided from Trinidad.
Well, yeah, they do have a different culture, a different way
No,
of living, you know.
there's a big difference. A big
Yeah, they're
difference.
different people,
They're
you
different.
know,
They're different.
totally,
They're very
totally
different.
different. Oh, yeah, totally
Yeah.
different from Trinidad.
And listener, they will like you. But you see, once you go contrary,
Yep,
they're not easy.
they
You
put it
go
in the
contrary,
outhouse.
forget it. That is it. Hey, we ain't see Dr. Bishnu yet, you know.
Well, he said 8:15, so I wonder
Yeah,
what.
it's now 8:23.
I wonder if it's 8:15 his time. It should be 9. Let me go out and
No?
see where he is. I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
come back.
yeah. So folks, here is the PDP resignation. Let me get this on my phone so I can read that for you. Let me get that. Okay, here it is. So this is the 9th of January 2023. It's sent to the PDP chairman. Resignation as treasurer and member of the PDP National Executive Council. It was addressed to Dr. Sean Ned. I wish to tender my resignation from the National Executive Council as treasurer with immediate effect.
You should be coming in soon.
Okay. True obfuscation has been my watchword. Oh God, using big words, but over the years, but the internal political climate has become increasingly ambiguous. And in this inclement environment, it has become overwhelmingly difficult to come to crisp and clear conclusions. I sincerely thank you for the opportunity to serve, and I wish you and the National Executive Council the best in your future endeavors. Respectfully, Marlon Radgaman. So there you have it, folks. Resignation from.
But wait, everybody running from Solomon Juke. That ain't good.
Now, well, we don't know if he run from Duke, though.
Or you run from politics.
Yeah, he run from politics. We don't know what the reason is, but he decided that he no longer wanted to be part of it, and you know,
Yeah, but
um,
in
yes,
Trinidad, it's vicious.
yeah, but the thing, but listen to this one. This one is interesting too. So we had what going on in Tobago, but
Mm-hmm.
we have now it's Trinidad and Tobago Carnival Fantastic Friday, big enough for two major soca events. Now, some of you all saw the video from the Trini Madman,
Right.
right? And he was saying that why would Marshall have Marshall Friday now when you have the Soca Monarch on the same Friday?
Hmm.
You see,
I mean, go ahead, Tommy.
is it Marshall who has it or Marshall's handler?
No, Marshall is having Marshall Friday.
No.
Fantastic Friday.
It's Marshall Friday, but is Marshall really the promoter?
Yeah, it's Marshall and Marshall having it.
No.
You can't have it without Marshall. If Marshall say I ain't doing it, you
No,
go have
no,
it.
they can't have it without him. But who handles it? Who actually manages and promotes, does the promotion?
Well, Marshall Monday, Marshall and them in charge. Marshall Monday was Marshall on them.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Hmm.
So
I know
Marshall
different.
Friday or Fantastic Friday is Marshall. And if Marshall say, all you know, they having Soca Monarch on the same day, let me have it Fantastic Tuesday. It's Fantastic Tuesday it is. Or Fantastic Wednesday. It's Fantastic Wednesday it is.
You
Right?
see, my friend,
Mm.
Marshall has another engagement on Marshall Monday,
Hmm.
which
Okay.
is going to be on the cruise ship.
Okay.
And
Well,
but the
I do have
person
a
who
dog in the fight. So I mean they could have it Marshall Saturday, Marshalls. They could have it Fantastic Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I do have a dog in the fight. But them guys and them are just saying that if you are supposed to be the king, them little fellas and them who trying to eat a little food on
Mm-hmm.
Soca Monarch on Friday. You know, if you
Mm-hmm.
have Fantastic Friday with Marshall, most people go to Fantastic Friday, right?
no Marshall Friday.
No, they're calling it Fantastic Friday.
Fantastic Friday is the Soca Monarch.
No. Marshall calling his Fantastic Friday.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's Marshall doing it, but I don't believe that he is the one who does it. I know he's the headliner, but I know that there's another management that handles his affairs.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I probably know a little too much, or I probably think I know a little too much, right?
Yeah, but I think something could have worked out. But let's bring in our next guest, you know, Dr. Bishnu Ragoonath. Doc, so how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
How is everything going in the beautiful land of TNT?
Well, things are going as well as can be. We cannot
Ah,
complain, as we
okay.
always don't complain.
Oh, all right. So, of course, who's your favorite cricketer? Let me ask that.
Now, which team are you talking about?
Mm.
Let me start with Trinidad first.
So, well, of course, if you have to start with Trinidad at this time,
No, wait now. All time, Don't have to be just this time now, Could be from back in.
And that's why I asked
Yeah,
you.
it could be from back in the day too. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I like to be the defensive. Larry
Gomes?
Yes.
Oh.
So you trying to tell me Larry Gomes was Trinidad's best batsman?
No. He wasn't the best batsman.
Okay.
He was a dependable batsman.
Okay, all right.
Defensive batsman.
Okay.
I mean, if you had to talk about the best batsman, you had to talk about Brian Lara. But I mean,
all right. I'm kind of worried, man.
No. You have to talk about Brian Lara. But if you talk about defense and dependable and so on.
Or could stay in the crease a long time.
Exactly. And you see, that's what we don't have today. That's why West Indies cannot play a 5-day match and finishes it in 3 days' time and 2 days' time. Get beaten 2 and 3 days.
But Doc, we have Chandra Paul's son.
He's now coming up.
He's coming up, and he has the same type of characteristics as his dad. He like to stay in the crease long.
Exactly, and that's what you need.
He could bat 4 days and make 10 runs.
No, Larry used to do that.
All you're doing, playing forward. But let me say this to you. 2 of my best Trinidad bowlers was Inshan Ali and Rafiq Jumadin.
And I agree with you on that.
Oh, God, you agree with me, Doc?
I agree with you on that.
Oh, God, Doc, I know my cricket boy.
Yeah, no. I agree with you on that. Inshan was probably one of the best people that could have played cricket for us.
Doc, let me tell you this. I used to go in the Oval. When I go in the Oval as a little boy, and Inshan Ali, he used to get plenty runs, but he used to get plenty wicket. Rafiq Jumadin will bowl maiden after maiden. And Rafiq Jumadin run-up was like 4 steps or 3 steps.
3 steps.
3 steps. And when he fly that ball, all I do is to come forward, and just play it. But our best all-rounder was Bernard Julian.
Julian was a good all-rounder.
Yeah. I mean, other things help him go off track, but he was one of our best all-rounders. And listen, one of our best opening batsmen that I remember. Well, you had to put Carew in there, right? You had to put Joey Carew in there with Faria and Gabriel.
Joey was a little bit before my time, man, right?
Honestly, Doc just showed a fast ball lane. Doc, that was a fast ball it showed. But I think Faria, Richard Gabriel, and then D'Souza used to come in third. Richard D'Souza. Right? Yeah. But our best fielder, one of the West Indies' best fielder was Sheldon Gomes.
Well, you see, them Gomes brothers, I always say, they were one of a pair that West Indies could never have replaced.
Never. They could do with them right now. But anyway, Doc, let me go from the nice cricket we're talking about to the landscape in Trinidad and Tobago. President Christine Kangaloo and the UNC nomination, SC Israel Khan. Right? I mean, why all the uproar in Trinidad and Tobago when this type of thing of nominating a person in parliament, there's been a precedent previously set. Why all the uproar now with Mrs. Christine Kangaloo?
Okay, well, that question, I could answer that question from various perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Let me start with the simple one. All right. Even when Robinson was nominated, there was an uproar. There was an uproar because he was a sitting politician, and people felt that he should not have gone forward simply because he was a sitting politician. The Constitution, however, allowed the various members of Parliament to nominate him and thus he went forward. After Robinson went forward, the arguments that was put forward by the PNM way back in 1997 were literally the same kind of arguments which they came back with in 2013 when Kamona was being nominated. Well, no, sorry, not when Kamuna was being nominated. When there were the discussions as to who should be the nominee. And in fact, Keith Rowley is on record of coming out harshly against a sitting member of parliament. At that point in time, he was against Timothy Hamill Smith, who was president of the Senate, to be nominated. And because I won't say, I would think that the government took into consideration the arguments put forward by Keith Rowley, and hence they came up with Kamuna, which got the PNM support. So we had a president there who was without a challenger, a presidential nominee without a challenger. In 1997, when Robinson was nominated, the PNM saw it fit to nominate a challenger from their side. Jump to 2018, when Paula May Weeks was nominated. Again, she had the support from both sides of the parliament, and in that regard, no challenger. 2023, the same arguments that was made in 1997 by the PNM, same arguments which were made in 2013 by the PNM, are the same arguments which are being made today by the UNC. Of course, you have some people who just go off the cuff sometimes and say things that don't really make sense.
Yeah, we understand that.
Okay. So forget them.
Yeah.
But the principal arguments that was made in 1997, that was made in 2013, and are being made now are the same. So it is in that context that you have this uproar. Okay? So it's not something new.
That's what, yeah.
And there's another factor here. Even in 1997, and when Robinson was elected or nominated by the then UNC-NAR coalition, Trinidad and Tobago was not as deeply polarized
Correct.
as it is today.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
What any government should want to do at this point in time is to try to get people who could unite, heal the wounds of that division in a way. And by simply going in there and putting in Christine Kangaloo, you're not exactly helping the situation. And that, I think, is one of the real challenges that we have here now in 2023. Because we need somebody who people could feel will be not necessarily impartial, but at least will give a fair hearing to all sides. And even though their decision will come on one side or the other, the point about it, people will have a little bit more confidence in the presidency. I say all of that because I come to yet another factor. And the last decision, well, I shouldn't say the last decision, but the last critical decision, which was made by, or I shouldn't say decision either, the last critical event which happened at President's house, and here I'm referring to the Police Service Commission nomination for Commissioner of Police.
Right.
I don't know whether the president had anything to do with it. But the mere fact that a nomination was made, handed into the presidency, and although the Constitution gave absolutely no leeway for that nomination to be withdrawn, it was withdrawn, which puts the presidency in, or puts a big question mark over the presidency. Particularly so when we know that the Prime Minister was the one who was playing his hand in that matter. So when you look at all of those factors, you now have to ask yourself, what can we do to bring the presidency back to the status it was when Nur Hassan Ali was president? Which is when I went back to it, when Nur Hassan Ali was president. If we could get back a presidency that people could respect the presidency and hold the presidency in high regard, then we're okay. But if you're going to put a politician who, mind you, I'm not saying that Christine Kangaloo will not be fair. I'm not saying that she will not be impartial. But I've made this point in another forum. And I've got a lot of licks for it, but I'm going to hold it. You see, several things have happened over the last 5 years, which now questions how much emphasis and independence we put on the presidency. So let me go back to one of the critical issues, 2017, 2018. Faris Alwari goes to Vincent Nelson and signs an indemnity agreement with him and promises him what? A presidential pardon. Now, how could an attorney general feel that he could offer somebody a presidential pardon? Thankfully, the pardon was not granted by, well, I don't know where that discussion went. But part of Vincent Nelson's arguments before the court right now is that he was promised a presidential pardon. So in a way, that has told us that here was the executive cabinet interfering in the work of the presidency. Then we had the Police Service Commission nomination. And the Prime Minister interfered in the work of the presidency. Because as far as we are concerned, once the President receives a nomination, the next act of the President is to forward that nomination to the Parliament for the Parliament to debate it. That did not happen because the nomination, although the President's office admitted that they received a nomination, it disappeared. So you now have that question.
So,
and a third thing that happened within the last year, in fact, the third thing that happened in the last year, after the Police Service Commission fiasco, was one other thing that happened. And that one other thing that happened was that the government brought a bill to the Parliament, the bail bill, if you may recall.
Yeah.
And they brought it to the Senate first in the hope that government plus independent senators would have voted in favor of it and so pressure the members of Parliament in the lower house, where they are no longer independents, but they're only UNC and PNM, to vote in favor of this bill. And the independent senators did not support the bill. Their failure to support that bill, or their refusal to support that bill, bear in mind that the independent senators were appointed by
President.
President Paula May Weeks, who was appointed, who was the nominee from Keith Rowley. So one would have expected that there would be a little bit more sympathy. But here we have people now who are independent senators who stood by their independence and said they're not supporting the bill. By putting a Christine Kangaloo in the chair of the presidency, is it that the government was being a little bit lazy? But also being very much so safe in trying to get an independent bench which could be sympathetic to their cause. Now, in the reign of George Maxwell Richards as president, he had appointed some independent senators. And I don't know whether you all recall this, but one day in the Senate, one of those independent senators stood up and was making her contribution and said, as a PNM senator.
I remember that. I don't remember that. You remember the name of the person?
I can't remember her name.
I've got to look that up. I've got to go and Google that.
And she stood up in the parliament and said, as a PNM senator. So now you have to ask yourself, how are these people being appointed? Who are the people who are to be appointed? Are they really going to be independent? Or are they going, and these are some of the concerns that bear in mind. Now, again, when I said the government was being safe and being lazy by putting Christine Kangaloo there, my concern here is simply the government doesn't want no embarrassment of going to the parliament again with a bill and have the independent senators vote them down.
Right.
They don't want that embarrassment. Right? So how do we ensure that they get what they want? And so let me stop there, and I've said more than I did.
But Doc, I want to go back to something, right? I think that looking at it and the way how it's coming out in the public space, right? Didn't this kind of somewhat backfire in that it seems to be expanding the political divide in the country? You know, because now we have a sitting person in parliament who is a known PNM, her family is also PNM, right? And been nominated or selected to be president, right? In that it just appears that it has expanded the political divide in Trinidad and Tobago for one of the highest office in the land by putting someone here that wouldn't, we're not sure that, right? But that will be more pro PNM rather than pro country.
And that is the problem. And that is the problem that we really have to deal with. That's a concern for many people in the country. And this is why I put it in my introduction there, that we should be trying to be healing the divisions in the society. We're not doing that.
But Doc, on the flip side, right? Why would the UNC nominate senior counsel Israel Khan? Because there is things going wrong with Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Busesa welcoming Israel Khan on a UNC platform. And back in 2020, Israel Khan publicly stated that he was going to become a UNC member. So is there any impartiality there with their nomination? Right? So it seemed again that too was going to expand the political divide. And there are some things that Israel Khan had said before regarding the police force and so on and so forth. But it seemed like the both parties are basically making the same mistakes.
And I agree with you on that one. I mean, Israel Khan, the thing about Israel Khan is that he's fiercely independent. When I say fiercely independent, he says what he wants to say and he doesn't care about what anybody else has to think.
Correct.
Right? And in that regard, Israel Khan is a person, I mean, to me, in fact, I said it in another forum, that he's a loose cannon. and in saying that he's a loose cannon, no prime minister, whether it be Keith Rowley or even if it was Kamala Prasad-Bisasa, would be able to trust an Israel Khan in doing what they are required to do.
Doing their bidding.
No, doing what they are required to do.
Okay.
And I say that doing what they are required to do because, take for instance, the Elections and Boundaries Commission. I mean, and that's the most critical one. The Elections and Boundaries Commission needs to appoint commissioners, or even the service commissions. Let's put, or any one of the service commissions. You need to appoint the commissioners. The president has to consult with the prime minister and the leader of the opposition, and thereupon appoint a commissioner or a chairman or whatever. You could imagine Kamala Prasad-Bisasa and Keith Rowley being called by President Israel Khan, and Kamala puts in her nomination and Rowley puts in his nomination, and Israel Khan watched to them and say, "You see, all talking nonsense. Me are giving none of that. I'm gonna put who I want."
Yeah.
Right.
And he has the power to do that. The president has the power to do that. Yes.
Right. Now, and you see this whole thing about consultation, and this is one of the other reasons to why the opposition would oppose a sitting parliamentarian. We've already established that Christine Khan, the whole family is PNM and everything else. That's not an issue. But what does consultation according to our constitution mean? Consultation means simply this. President could pick up his phone or her phone, call the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, I want to appoint Bishnu Ragoonath to the Integrity Commission. Prime Minister say, I do agree with you, That man has been criticizing me all the time. Can we find somebody else? So we say, all right, fine. We'll appoint Diana. So we are going to write Diana.
Yeah, you're going to the storm. Good.
I could afford to put Diana there. She's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. You sure, Dr. Ragoonath?
Yeah.
Well, she's neither PNM nor UNC, but go ahead.
Right. So you put Diana. So, all right. So we put, he says, okay, fine. The Prime Minister supports Diana. And then he calls the leader of the opposition and says, Madam Leader of the Opposition, we have to appoint the chairman to the Integrity Commission, and I am proposing that it be Diana Benskin. And the leader of the opposition say, I don't agree with that, But guess what? Because the Prime Minister has already nominated or suggested this person. And the president could say, okay, fine, you know what? The mere fact that I talked to you, you didn't give me a nominee. I tell you, I consulted with you, and I could now go ahead and make my appointment. And that's what consultation is. Consultation is simply the president telling them, this is my suggestion. Whether you agree with it or you agree with it, that's your business. That's my suggestion. Now, when you have a PNM, somebody who is deep in the PNM, one would expect that the Prime Minister will have a more overwhelming proposal, which the President will want to follow, than the leader of the opposition. And that's where the whole question of fairness and equity and impartiality will come in. And when you talk about critical offices in the land, Elections and Boundaries Commission, Service Commissions, all the Service Commission, Teaching Service Commission, Police Service Commission, all of that. EBC, we have to be worried and concerned as to whether the government is taking all of these things and making sure that their own are appointed. And I've already spoken about the 9 independent senators.
But Doc, you just made me think about something, right? A lot of people in Trinidad say that the president is ceremonial. What you just said there, with respect to the EBC, that's significant.
Because, no, you see, and this is why, you know, we criticize Robinson for Robinson being, what do you call it, a politician and coming into the presidency. But I hold Robinson as probably one of our better presidents. And I tell you why. Because Robinson forced many of us to go back and read our Constitution. When Robinson had refused to appoint the 3 nominees as ministers, as senators, and to become ministers in his government, in the Pandey administration, he forced people to go understand the Constitution.
Right.
Now, mind you, he had to back down because the Constitution didn't give him that right. But what he did and what he called for was that there should be some degree of reflection and so on. Now, here the flip side to that one. Robinson did that, and Robinson came out on television and talked about rivers, streams running into rivers, and rivers running into the sea, and all of those kinds of things. And all of those things, because he was forcing us to
think.
Yep. When I can't remember which bill it is. But there was a particular bill that was it was passed in Parliament, and it was brought to the President, Paula May Weeks, to assent to. I think the government took it to court. No, the opposite. They took it to court, and the court overruled that it should not have been passed. Can't remember which one.
Yeah, I can't recall either.
It was within the last 4 years. I could tell you that much. Paula May Weeks was the president. And Keith Rowley came out and said, after when the court overturned that thing that was assented to by the president, Keith Rowley came out and said, you know, the president had expressed reservations to him about assenting to that particular piece of legislation and proclaiming it. But we went ahead and proclaimed it. Did we ever hear the president say this was not a good piece of legislation to the public, to the population? Now, had that been a Robinson would not have assented to it and proclaimed it, and he probably would have come outside and say, look, this piece of legislation is not worthy of it. And that is where we now have to ask ourselves, what's the importance of the president? And the president has a lot of power. I mean, you may recall or you may not recall, when Kamuna took his oath of office, he said, there are things that I can do.
Yes.
That you do not know about, and there are things that I cannot do that you think I can do. That's the power of the president.
So, Doc, hold right there. We're going to go for a quick station identification. We have with us political scientist, Dr. Bishnu Ragoonath with us, no stranger here to Indie Village with the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. And we're having a discussion tonight about the president and the powers of the president and other things that we are going to get into tonight. So stick and stay. We're going for the show break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Doc, I just want to quickly go back because in Trinidad and Tobago, most people will say that, oh, the president is ceremonial, the president don't want no weight, the president is a puppet of the prime minister has to tell the president what to do. But the president has a significant role to play in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Because if you could appoint commissioners to the EBC, for example, right, and the prime minister could come and tell you, well, listen, I want Joe over there and I want Susie over here. And the opposition leader can tell you, well, look, I don't want Joe or Susie, I want Jane and Johnny, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the president can say, I don't want Sue, I don't want Ray, I don't want Joan, or I don't want Johnny. I could appoint my own. But as you stated, with consultation that he can say, well, listen, he or she can say, well, I consulted with the prime minister and I consulted with the opposition leader, and this is my decision. And they can override his decision, his or her decision, right? As
no,
president.
they can't.
There you go. There you go. So the president have certain powers that they could act on, and they don't need the okay from the prime minister or the opposition leader. As you say, there's consultation.
Once there's consultation. What does consultation mean?
Mm-hmm. So I want to get back to some other thing to that. With respect to Vincent Nelson, in that, in order for Faris Al-Wawi to make that pronouncement, he had to have full confidence that they could get the president to sign off on that pardon for Vincent Nelson. They have to have the
well, that's their opinion because they put the president there.
Oh wow. That's very interesting. Very interesting. You know, so I will say this, right? So senior counsel Israel Khan have two chances of becoming the president: Slim and none. And Slim just left the building.
Right? You see, let's put it like this.
Yeah.
The election of the president is the electoral college. The PNM already has. Now, people don't check it correctly. Yeah? So let me check it for you. They have 22 elected members, but they have one other in the lower house who's the speaker. So that makes it 23. They have 16 in the Senate. That's 39. So 23 and 16, 39. What does the opposition have? The opposition has 19 in the lower house, 6 in the upper house. 19 and 6 is 25. Yeah. And even if you count the 9 independent senators who will vote, let's just assume they vote against, you don't expect Christine Kangaloo. Well, I mean, I don't know whether she'll sit in the chair, but she might very well be there. Because according to the Constitution, it's only after she's elected and she had to vacate. So PNM has 39, UNC 25 plus 9, 34. Once they vote according to party lines, even if all the independents support Israel Khan, the PNM already has a majority.
Has there been ever a situation in Trinidad where is that the opposition nominated somebody and they became the president? That's never happened.
No, never. I mean, there were only twice there were elections for the presidency. And that was when Robinson was nominated. The PNM had put up Justice Lucky, didn't win. And when the PNM had nominated in government George Maxwell Richards, and the UNC had nominated Ganesh Rambial. And the UNC did not, and Rambial did not win. So those were the two opposition candidates Lucky for the PNM in 97 and Ramdial for the UNC in 2003. And they never won. So that's why we have to take it.
So, Doc, why? I know it's a procedure. Why would the UNC, the opposition, nominate a president, and they know for a fact that there's absolutely it's close to impossible. Doesn't matter who's in opposition, that person could ever become president.
Well, let's put it like this. Now, we had a revelation yesterday, or an admission, I don't know how you want to look at it, from Keith Rowley, who said, hey, Hiena, when Robinson was nominated, I broke party lines and I voted for him, because PNM had their own candidate, Justice Lucky, but I voted for Robinson. Now, he admitted that. Now, I don't know. I can't be sure. Because
Doc, let me stop you.
Uh-huh.
Doc, you really think one of them PNM people go break party lines and go and vote for Israel Khan, senior counsel Israel Khan?
Well, this is what I'm coming to now.
Oh, all right.
This is what I'm coming to.
Let me don't jump the gun.
There's only one person who I think have reason to do that.
Who is that?
The man who Israel Khan defended 6 months ago.
Brian Manning?
No. Remember, Israel Khan came out and defended his friend, the Attorney General.
Faris Alwawi?
No. Reginald Amor, when the matter came up in the court in Miami.
So wait, Doc. Let me kind of flush this out there. You're going on a road there. I just want to make sure you all me down and Tommy down and I.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
No. We just want to. We're dealing with possibilities here. Possibilities.
Yeah.
So we are saying that there's a possibility. It's possible. Although impossible also says I am possible, but a possibility that Dr. Rowley did say you are allowed to vote for whoever you want to vote for. Right? He said that. So in your thinking, the only person that could break any ranks in the PNM is Reginald Amor.
No. I'm not saying he's the only person. I'm saying there could be others who may want to break ranks.
And vote for Israel Khan.
But bear this in mind. I don't expect them to break ranks.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, here's the scenario that will play out. Even in 1997, when Robinson was elected, the number of UNC and NAR members of parliament at that point in time would have been, I can't remember the exact number they had right at that point in time. I think it was 19, 18 because Robinson had demitted. 18 and 16, so that's 34 and the speaker 35. So they had 35 at that time. Robinson had gotten more than 35 votes. But my question here was simply this. I don't know whether Keith Rowley was the one who voted or was one of those. I think Robinson had gotten about 38 or 39 votes. I don't know whether Keith Rowley would have been one of those, or whether there's the 4 independent senators who would have voted for Robinson. I don't know. We don't know that. In this particular case, like I said, the UNC has a definite 25 who will vote for Israel Khan. Let's just say Israel Khan gets 30 votes. Can we say for sure that any one of those extra 5 votes came from the PNM? or came from the independent benches. We can't say that for sure. We don't know. We will never know.
The Prime Minister would know that? Which one of his?
The Prime Minister would know. But if the Prime Minister find out that it was one of his people who break ranks.
Cancer Christmas it over.
Exactly.
So this is interesting. This is interesting, Doc. Doc, I just want to go back quickly over the numbers, right? So the possibilities for the PNM is 35 individuals, right? Who will vote for Christine Kangaloo?
No. You have 23 and 16. 23 and 16. 39.
16, 39, right? Right? So the 22 plus 1, you put the speaker of the lower house, you said.
Right, yeah.
Right, so that's 23. And the 16, who are the 16 now?
That's the 16 government senators.
Or 16 government senators.
Which includes Christine Kangaloo, eh?
Right. Okay, so she go vote for herself, or she had a...
Well, you think she will vote for Israel Khan?
And then the UNC has what? 19?
19 and 6 senators.
6 senators.
That's 25.
Okay. 6 senators, 25. But wait, now the UNC have a long way to go.
And you have 9 senators. You have 9 independent senators.
9 independent senators. 9 independent. So we're getting a little class tonight, we're getting a class, and we're giving the people a little class tonight, Doc. Right? So we have 39 plus 25, and we have 9 independent. Right? Those 9 independent were appointed by the president.
Right.
Okay, all right. So them is them.
Who is the PNM's nominee?
So Doc, even if you do it this way, let me say the UNC get 5 of that. Right? But even if you give the UNC all of them, they still can't win.
Exactly.
They still can't win.
Exactly.
Right? 34. Right? They still have to get, out of that 39, they have to get a few out of that 39 in order to cross the floor and go and vote for Israel Khan.
Exactly.
So Doc, you see, Doc, that's why we love this. That's why this is what we hear about information. This is such beautiful information. Because I didn't know that. And you have spelled it out for us here very, very, very succinctly, man. 25 against 39, 9 independents, right? Even if you give the UNC all 9, they get to 34, right? They still have to get. Now, could it be 39, 38? If it's oh no.
No, you can't. You'll have to get 37, 36.
Right, 37, 36.
Yeah.
And UNC could win that way too.
That's the only way, but that means the UNC have to get 3 PNM people to vote.
No. I'm gonna go back to the. He had 2 chances, Slim and none. Slim already lead the building.
Oh no.
I'm going back to what I previously said. But no, this Doc, I have to be honest with you.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't even I would not say Slim.
Worse than Slim?
Yes.
Is it?
A snowball's chance in hell.
So Doc, this is what the people in Trinidad and Tobago need to understand. This is the type of things they need to understand rather than just going and running your mouth all about the place and really thinking that somehow, a snowman go come from up on Mars and go to Trinidad and Israel Khan, senior counsel Israel Khan will have some type of chance of being the next president.
No, I think that he knows full well that he can't be the next president. He will not be the next president. I think the opposition knows full well, but to register their protests against Christine Kangaloo, they had to nominate somebody.
Good, but why Israel Khan? Why wasn't there a candidate who wasn't was different from Christine Kanglo in that you were talking about Mrs. Kamala Possessor made a statement about an active politician, right? She talked about Christine Kanglo being an active politician, right? But then, and Doc, this is why I call, we have too many politicians in Trinidad and Tobago in HDD. We have high definition television. Right? In Trinidad and Tobago, we have politicians in HDD, hypocritical, deceitful, and disingenuous, right? If you are against Christine Kanglu being an active politician, right, and she's a PNM, PNM, right? I think nominating senior counsel Israel Khan, and when Kamala Persad-Bissessar herself stand on a platform and welcome Israel Khan, and Israel Khan in 2020 say he was going to join the UNC, right? This is his words, not mine. It was in an article in either the Express or the Newsday, right? I mean, is that really nominating an independent person from the UNC?
All right, so I'm going to a little bit differ from you here, a little bit, not too much.
Okay. Oh, that's good, Doc. A little bit.
One, there's no person, well, I shouldn't say there's no person. On average, there's no person who is truly independent of either of the political parties.
Correct.
Right?
I agree with that.
So I could go and join PDP.
Yes.
Well, me joining either one of the parties here, right? So.
Oh, you're not joining UNC or PNM.
Right.
Okay.
So I could go and join PDP.
Right.
And joining doesn't mean to say that I am going to contest an election for them or anything like that. I could even speak on their behalf, but that doesn't make me an active politician in like manner as a Christine Kangalo. Right? So that's a slight difference. So now, whereas you tell me that Israel Khan mounted a UNC platform, that is undisputed fact. The other side of it is simply that everybody is entitled to join a party. As to whether or not you're going to become an active politician is another question. But there's one other thing. You see, if you're going to look at Israel Khan in total, Israel Khan was one of those persons who actually told Kamala Persad-Bissessar, carry back the silk and give it back. You don't deserve it.
Correct.
Right? So if he could be so critical of Kamala Persad-Bissessar, that in a way would suggest that, well, I could criticize Kamala Persad-Bissessar, I could criticize Keith Rowley. That doesn't mean to say that I'm in anyone in back pocket. Would Christine Kanglo ever dare criticize her prime minister?
Well, we don't know that, though. We don't know that.
We don't know that.
It's possible she could get in there and change.
No, and this is where and this is what the point I've been carrying throughout my commentary since this matter arose. I cannot speak for Christine Kangalo. I cannot say whether Christine Kangalo will, once she ascends to the office of presidency, will behave so politically. I cannot say that. I could only hope and pray that she will behave in a more apolitical manner, in that she will not allow her party politics to interfere with the good governance of Trinidad and Tobago, and thereupon call upon the various sectors in the society to work towards the development of Trinidad and Tobago. And I give her that there's always that possibility that she could be a very good president. She could be an unbiased president. She could be. I cannot say that she will be. I cannot say that she will not be. So we have to give her the benefit of the doubt in that regard.
Now, Doc, as you said,
actions.
Right. As you say that, right, I just thought about something. You just jog my memory. and make me think even deeper. Now, President Paula May Weeks, somehow the list for the commissioner of police was withdrawn with her consent, right? We had to say with her consent, correct?
Yeah.
Right? And she's not considered to be a PNM like how Christine Kangaloo is a PNM.
No.
And if the prime minister was able to get her to withdraw that list, and she's not in the bowels of the PNM, so to speak, what could he get Christine Kangaloo to do? Because people that she's in the bowel of the PNM.
Well, and that's what we have to wait and see.
Dog dance, I like dance, you know. You know.
Okay. So coming back to that statement I made earlier, and you asked me who is the senator?
Yeah.
It's Senator Meher.
Meher.
Yeah.
I never hear about he boy. Oh, you spell the last name?
Mehair.
Mehair. Okay, yeah. Senator Meher. Okay. All right. I haven't heard of him. You know, but this is but Doc, let me quickly go to our next topic here. I mean, I think we have exhausted. Diana, you want anything? You have anything?
No.
I think we have exhausted the presidents, and we know that Mrs. Christine Kangaloo is going to be the president. We know the electoral vote, I think, is on the 20th, next Friday. And I think we have kind of exhausted that. She's going to be the next president unless something drastic happens. And some of these independent senators decide to have, somehow they lose sleep and they decide
I have a question, Vim.
Sure.
Okay. Can what's her name? Kangaloo? Can she sit and keep the seat warm till Dr. Rowley decides he don't want to run for prime minister no more and then become president?
Well, the president will have to determine whether she's going to resign her presidency. If she does so, then we go back through the whole process of going through the electoral college and getting a replacement president.
And Diana, as you raise that point, you see, a social media blogger posted that Dr. Rowley wants to be the president, right? And he was going to resign from his position, and then he was going to be appointed to be president of Trinidad and Tobago. But tonight, we just flushed it out. Those 9 independent senators, if they decide you nominate Dr. Rowley to be president, them 9 independent senators say, look, only on Dr. Rowley, no way. And then 3 or 4 of them PNM people decide, no way, we don't want you to be no president, right? And the UNC put up somebody else, right? They could vote for that other person now, right?
In theory, that is so. In practice,
but I hear you. But that makes it more difficult.
One thing PNM does do is consolidate behind the leader.
Yeah, but Doc, that's why I told the person it would be so difficult for Dr. Rowley to resign as the prime minister, right? Appoint somebody as the prime minister and then have that person nominate him to be the president.
No.
Go ahead.
This is the difference.
Okay.
And and you see, yesterday Dr. Rowley was at pains to emphasize this. The sitting member of parliament remains in that seat until after the electoral college has voted. And if on the vote of the electoral college, if that person wins the seat, wins the vote, then they immediately vacate their seat. So Dr. Rowley does not have to resign.
As prime minister?
As prime minister.
Well, wait, Doc. Let me make sure I understand you. You are saying that Dr. Rowley can be a sitting prime minister, be nominated to be president.
And be nominated for the presidency.
For the presidency. And the Electoral College can vote on him. And if he is selected.
And he could sit down in the parliament, because he's still an elected member of parliament, and vote for himself.
And he's the prime minister?
And
the question, no.
Whoa, man.
Under the Republic.
That makes sense, though, Doc.
No, but that's the Constitution.
I know. But that Constitution has to change.
You see, that's the Constitution, and the Constitution says that the member of, and this is why I say Dr. Rowley was at pains yesterday to explain that the person remains a sitting member of parliament until that vote is taken.
Well, I think that makes it even worse now for him to be a sitting prime minister, trying to be president, for them to nominate him as president, and then for these individuals to go vote for him as president while he's the sitting prime minister. I mean, listen, if that happens in Trinidad and Tobago, we can forget about Trinidad.
No, to be honest with you, I don't personally, I don't think that Christine Kangaroo will be warm in the seat for Dr. Rowley as at this point in time.
Okay, but it's possible though.
It's possible, but I don't think she'll be warm, because I tell you something. You know, in my class I tell students, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me something. If I'm the sitting president,
I go resign for somebody else to come and take my work, just so.
Who could get me to resign?
Boy.
Right? Who could get me to resign? Nobody can force my hand.
Yeah. You're the president.
As president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like nobody can tell Dr. Rowley to call an election.
No.
He can decide if he want to call an election or not.
I mean, the Constitution gave him a deadline date, but apart from that, he don't have to call an election.
No. With that, right, Doc? What's the status of...
Say that again. He doesn't have to call an election?
The Constitution gives him a deadline date by which
you don't have to call no election before.
But you don't have to call the election before.
And before, but don't tell me he ain't got to call an election. He has to call an election. Then you're living in communist and socialist. Okay, all right.
An early election.
You don't have to call an early election.
Yeah. So, Doc, with that in mind, it seemed that the situation in Tobago is over as far as, these people who resigned from the PDP, and they're saying that it's not a legitimate government in Tobago and they have to call a fresh elections. That seems to be out the window, right?
That's out the window. That was out the window from day one.
Okay.
You see, Watson was hoping that it would have forced their hand to want to call an election. But they know like everybody else, everybody have their legal advisors. And their legal advisors tell them that the Tobago House of Assembly Act takes no consideration about political parties. So you are elected not on the basis of a party, but on the basis of your name as a candidate. Right?
Mm.
And even so, the swearing in of the chief secretary, the president is deemed to follow or to determine. The president doesn't determine in the case of Tobago. In the case of Trinidad and Tobago, in the case of the parliament, the president will determine who is either the leader of the party with the majority or the person who commands the majority in the parliament becomes the prime minister. In Tobago, it had no party. The elected members of the THA then turn around and vote for a chairman, a chief secretary. Mm-hmm. So there's no role for the president. So in regard to Tobago, if there's no role, if there's nobody to appoint you, or and you are elected, nobody could fire you because you were elected. Now, let me explain that a little bit. Remember this fella from Diego Martin, who was accused with sexual whatever, harassment and whatever else. And when Keith Rowley came to the matter, Keith Rowley says, I cannot fire him as a member of parliament because he was elected.
Right.
I could remove him as a minister or as a whatever, but I can't fire him as an elected member. Because once you are elected, you have to serve out your term. And it is in the same regard in Tobago. The chief secretary is elected. It's not the somebody appointed him because he leading the party. He was elected by the assemblyman. So nobody could fire him.
So it appears that eventually we're going to have three active parties in Trinidad, the PDP and Tobago, the PDP, the PNM, and soon to be maybe another PDP Progressive Democrats Party or some other form of the PDP in Tobago.
Well,
right?
That is always a possibility. But we had two things in mind. You see, I did a long paper on that Tobago elections. And nobody wants to publish it because it probably is too confusing. But bear in mind that when the PDP put forward their slate of candidates, all their candidates were not members of the PDP. That was one of the concerns, that there was always that concern with the PDP. The PDP was a pickup side. The PDP that contested the election in January 2021 was a pickup side. In that there were members of the PDP, but there were other candidates who were not members of the PDP. I can't remember whether Pastor Baines, for instance, was one of those who was not a member.
Yeah, Pastor Baines was a UNC senator, I think.
Right? But he was not a member of the PDP. But mind you, he later on probably joined the PDP. But when he first contested the election, and he contested under PDP banner symbol, he was not a member of the PDP. So in that regard, I use that as one example. So over the last day, I think it's on today's papers or yesterday's papers, where Watson Duke was interviewed, I think, on I-95, and he said he's open to discussions with the PDP, with those people who walked out of the PDP, right? So he's now open to discussions. Is there going to be some sort of reunification of the PDP? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I stand corrected. I think Senator Baines was TOP, and I think TOP was in the coalition with was part of the coalition. So that's how he was appointed as senator.
Right.
Yeah. So now let me ask you a question, Doc. If you was Farley, would you go and reunite with Watson Duke?
Well, you've already demonstrated that Watson Duke is, for all intents and purposes, he doesn't have any power. So you have made that clear to the population of Trinidad and Tobago that as it stands, Watson Duke doesn't have any power. I mean, he's an elected assemblyman. We can't do nothing about that for Roxborough. But beyond that, he has no power in the assembly and so on. If you want to keep him, and you want to believe that he could be of some benefit to the party, to your party, whichever is that thing, then say, fine, yes, you could probably have some discussions with him and say, well, all right, fine. Let's talk about having probably some sort of coalition. But you see me, I already walk out my 15 people. And I think today I saw where the treasurer of the PDP has now resigned.
Yes, he did.
I saw that today, I think it was. So if the treasurer has resigned today, that means more and more people are leaving the PDP. So there's that likelihood that the PDP is now going to, or those who have resigned from the PDP will now form some sort of vehicle to take them forward. And that vehicle could enter into discussions with the PDP to say, well, all right, you want to join with us? Well, we could talk about coalition now, but not necessarily coming under the banner of coming in a party that one person claims ownership. And I think that was the straw that would have broken the camel's back, because I can't go into a party when somebody claims that they're the owner, because they are the owner of the party. They could do what they want with the party. Then what am I doing there? That I don't have a voice, then I don't have a say, because the owner could always decide to cut off my head whenever he doesn't want me around, because he's the owner. And so you see that the kind of language and so on has to be tempered in order that we get to another level in the case of today.
Yeah, it was interesting that when you, as the political leader of the party, saying that the THA should be carrying out the mandate of the party as opposed to the mandate for the people of Tobago, I think that's very difficult. It's like, the PNM in Trinidad is in government. They should carry the mandate for the PNM people of Trinidad and forget everybody else who are not PNM members. And so if somebody's saying that in Tobago, that, listen, we went in there as the PDP, we're supposed to be kind of the mandate of the party, and they work for me because I'm the political leader. And I'm like, well, the THA secretary, he don't work for nobody, right? Maybe he can more have to answer the central government, right? Because at the end of the day, the central government have to give them a budget in order for them to run Tobago, right? But I don't think the THA chief had to answer to his political leader, because he's the political leader, so.
So, and don't stop at political leader, stop at political leader and owner of the party.
Yeah, political leader and owner. I don't know where in the world a person say they own a party and own a political party. I mean, I just don't see why you would even
And I am surprised that Dr. Ned and those who are the chairman of the party and so on will keep on parroting that Watson Duke is the owner of the party. Yeah, what kind of person you will be to say you going into an organization where somebody owns it and they could decide they will decide everything on their own.
It's like a franchise. It's a franchise.
Right.
It's not really a party, it's a franchise. I own the franchise. I have to follow certain edits, but I could do as I please. If I don't like what you're doing in the franchise, I get rid of you.
Exactly.
And then he's operating like Donald Trump. But Dr. Ragoonath, who started the PNM?
The PNM came out of what at that time people education movement. So it was a movement. Now Eric Williams was leading that education trust, but they started off as a discussion group to educate the people. And so that was in 1954, 1955. There was the.
I wasn't born yet. Okay,
yeah. I wasn't born yet either, but
yeah, we know.
But there was the People's Education Movement. So it wasn't but it wasn't only Dr. Williams who was he was at the helm, but in the process of educating the society, they had a lot of conversations and discussions and so on. But of course, Dr. Williams, because of his history and because of his, and when I say his history, because he was fired by the whatever commission, I can't remember it offhand right now, and he was fired because of his ideology and philosophy and so on.
Capildale?
No, it wasn't Capildale. It was an American commission.
Oh.
Okay, and so because of that,
it was a Caribbean Commission,
and he started now this education movement in Trinidad, and got the push now to go into the self-government. Now, bear in mind, if we understand the history well, that the first election that the PNM won in 1956, they did not win it with a clear majority, you know. They did not win it with a clear majority, but the colonial office allowed them to have some degree of a coalition to give the PNM victory against the DLP at that time. No, sorry, the DP, right? So I think they had won 12 seats, but there were 12 other seats, and the colonial office allowed the PNM to lead the government. So because we were still under British rule, we were not yet independent. So it is in that context that Eric Williams became the first premier. And becoming the first premier, that propelled him into leadership. And of course, he moved from premier into becoming the first prime minister when we got independence, and that's why he was prime minister. That's why we refer to him as the father of the nation, right? So that's how he became Trinidad and Tobago became a nation under the prime ministership of Eric Williams, and he kept control of the party until 1973, when he wanted to resign because we were in dire economic straits. And in 1973, Dr. Williams wanted to resign because he couldn't see Trinidad and Tobago getting out of the economic stagnation that we were in. And lo and behold, boom, we came into an economic boom with OPEC raising the price of oil, and Trinidad became afloat with money, and he said, I ain't going again.
So Doc, I don't know if you normally give ratings, right? If you have to give the THA in Tobago a rating,
I wouldn't rate them.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't rate them. I normally tell my students A, B, C, or F, and I wouldn't want to rate the THA. And I'll tell you why too, because you see, again, I am somewhat of a distance. I've been into Tobago several times since the government has been there, the new administration has been there. But to say that I've been on the ground with the people to understand their concerns and so on, I don't know, and I don't want to rate.
Why I asked you that question, Dr. Ragoonath, because Watson Duke is so adamant that, he started the PDP and he hit his dog and his brother. So I wanted to know if there's any document exists anywhere that shows who owns the PNM.
No, okay. So if you want to learn about the PNM, document, you will have to go back to, in fact, C.L.R. James's book, Party Politics, talks about the PNM and the rise of the PNM.
Okay. So there won't be no document where Dr. Eric Williams owns the PNM, or
you will never see that anywhere.
Okay. All right. Learn something today, because Solomon Duke is saying PDP is his. So the other political parties, the NTA, the ILP, the UNC, the PEP. Is there any documents anywhere in intellectual property or in patent and licensing office showing Philip Alexander is the owner of PEP
No,
and Gary Griffith is the owner of NTA? Do they have to file such a document?
They will say that they are the founders of the party, but they would never claim ownership.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day,
yeah. Okay.
At the end of the day, they have to eventually have an internal election in order to select officers. And if the people who are in there decide they no longer want you to be leader of the party, where you go to take your party and go?
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you have an internal election, right? Which is interesting. I wonder if this new executive of the PDP, did they have an internal election to select this new executive?
I can't recall that they have an election, I know there was at one point an election early on, but I can't recall they having a real internal election to say.
Do you know there's any constitution that exists for the PDP?
Yeah, there's a constitution. I have the constitution for them.
Oh, you got it?
I get it from the chairman, Sean Ned. Yeah, I do have it. He sent it to me. Because when he was here with us. We asked the question, do you have a constitution? He said, yeah, they do have a constitution. He sent it to me. Right? So I think, I think the PDP had a great opportunity to become a national party.
Formidable.
In both Trinidad and Tobago. And I think what happened in Tobago kind of messed everything up. And I don't know.
Well, you see, I think that, and I agree with you, they had the opportunity. I think, however, two things. One, after winning the THA election, they should have consolidated themselves in Tobago before they try to spread themselves and come to Trinidad and launch office in Trinidad and everything else. Now, Duke was of the opinion, and probably still is of the opinion, that as a former PSA leader, he has a strong following in Trinidad. And he thought that he could have used that victory in Tobago to propel him in Trinidad, which could probably have had some realism to it. But I think he should have consolidated his party in Tobago to make sure that they stand as a unitary organization, as opposed to coming to Trinidad and trying to pick up things here. And bear in mind, I'm not sure exactly how they do things, how they did things, because, for instance, Mr. Duke, Farley Augustine was a deputy political leader, right?
Yeah.
But I understand that there were other deputy political leaders in the PDP.
I think Faith B. Israel was also a deputy political leader. Faith, Dr. Faith.
And my question is, no, apart from Faith and Farley, were there any other deputy political leaders?
No, not that I know of. Well, yes. Cazelle Jackson in Trinidad became a political leader, and Suzette Lowe became a political leader in Trinidad. Suzette Lowry became deputy political leaders in Trinidad.
But Suzanne Lowe has not been in Trinidad since I can't remember when.
Well, she was a virtual deputy political leader.
And you see, and that's my point.
That's my
point. Because I am not sure who elected them. Or were they appointed by the owner?
Yeah. Yes, Duke appointed them. Because he said he could appoint, the Constitution allows him to appoint deputy political leaders.
Right.
That's what Sean Ned said.
Okay.
So
most political parties, their constitution does allow them to appoint deputy political leaders. The PNM, the political leader has the power to appoint his deputies.
Dr. Ragoonath, with all the Bacchanal, PDP in Tobago, Is this a chance now for PNM to regain, seats down there?
There is always that chance, and I'll tell you why. Because there's always that chance for the PNM. Because if you understand that in the THA election that went by, just over 50% of the electorate voted. Okay, so you still had, even though you had the PDP, which was a fresh voice coming to the fore, there was always the PNM, and yet still they couldn't, neither the PNM and the PDP could not excite over 45% of the electorate. So now that the PDP has faltered in terms of a party, we really have to see how the PDP, well, the ex-PDP assembly will manage themselves to ensure their future victories in the THA. But as it stands right now, I mean, it's anybody's game, because remember, the PNM didn't lose that big. I mean, Ansel Dennis lost by what, 3 votes or 5 votes?
Yeah, that's a few
Right?
votes.
Dr. Ragoonath.
Yes, sir.
Earlier we were talking about Trinidad politics. Yes, earlier we were talking about Trinidad politics and the fact that we've had 7 prime ministers thus far. How would you rate those 7? Should I state the names, or can you, in your head, remember who's who?
Well, I know all the prime ministers, but my question is, rate them in what context?
1 to 7.
No,
1 to 7, based on them being prime ministers and how they ran the country.
Let me tell you the challenges that in rating 1 to 7. Every prime minister operated at a different point in time. And being there at a particular point in time makes it difficult for us to compare and contrast. Let me give you an example taken outside of the prime ministership. Okay? When Nur Hassan Ali was president, for the 10 years that Nur Hassan Ali was president, Nur Hassan Ali was a very quiet person. We never really heard anything from Nur Hassan Ali. I mean, he didn't rock the boat. He maintained the status quo. He did what he had to do, and so on. Very quietly in the background, and everybody knew that they respected Nur Hassan Ali as the president. Compare that to Paula Mae Weeks. One of the big criticisms of her tenure as president was that she was too silent on critical issues. So, and we had several critical issues happening in society. The big one, for instance, that the woman will tell you about was when you had the murder of the girls, the
Ashanti Riley.
Ashanti and Andrea, right? And you had protests throughout the country. And Paula Mae Weeks said absolutely nothing. And it was only on International Women's Day or something like that that she made a reference to it. And mind you, that aggravated a lot of people in Trinidad, that here's the country in uproar as to how are we protecting or not protecting our women folk. And the president had absolutely nothing to say. Now, mind you, compared to Nur Hassan Ali, she was doing literally the same thing. Staying quiet on critical issues. But the times were different. The times are different. So you can't compare how Nur Hassan Ali would have operated then with how Paula Mae Weeks would operate now. And that is why ranking the prime ministers would be difficult for us to do. Because again, each one is in a different context. They operated in the same geographical space, yes.
Same title.
The time and the context would be different. So, for instance, let me give you a simple for instance. A lot of people used to call George Chambers dummy and dummy. Eric Williams was deafy and George Chambers was dummy. But you know, George Chambers was a damn good prime minister.
Correct is right.
In his time.
Yep.
Okay.
But Doc, we rank basketball players, we rank basketball teams from different eras. You know, we rank them when they used to play in Converse and tight pants. You know, we rank them when they used to play in baggy pants. But you could see some of the things that are accomplished under certain prime ministers, and of course rank them to other prime ministers. Because we rank all the times. We rank, you know, we look at commissioners in Trinidad and Tobago, even though times are different. You know, we could look at these certain commissioners, and based on how they have certain statistics, you could rank commissioners.
But I understand there are different ingredients in the political sphere. Like for Dr. Rowley, he had it the roughest. I mean, you had the influx of the Venezuelan, you had the pandemic, you know, a lot of industries closing down. He had a lot of rough things against him.
Back in the days in cricket, didn't have no helmet. Certain time there was no helmet and no pads and no body thing.
He had it rough.
But I wouldn't do that because you see, okay, take for instance, Rowley talked about the economy in a shambles. But guess what? Basile Pane will say, I don't know what all you're talking about.
Yeah.
In my time, oil was $11 a barrel.
Correct is right. And they was doing good.
Oil was $11 a barrel, and I still managed the economy. How oil was getting $30 and $40 a barrel, and oil was complaining.
And Doc, think about this. Under Patrick Manning, most of the time they had a budget surplus.
Yes.
Most of the time under Patrick Manning there was a budget surplus. Under Dr. Rowley, most of the times it was a budget deficit. You see, so you can see you have people who are managing how you manage the economy, right? And to me, that's a factor. That's a big factor too as well. But you hear people, for example, you just say the Minister of Finance, oh yeah, we had a budget surplus, we had and jumping up and down. But for the other 6 years, they had a budget deficit, right? And I think with Patrick Manning, it's only in 2009, I think, or 2000.
Yeah, after the meltdown in 2008.
Right. Then they had a budget deficit.
Right.
And people in Trinidad somehow don't want to look at those things. But those things were significantly important, you know, in the scheme of things in Trinidad and Tobago, you know.
I have an economist colleague who will tell me that Patrick Manning was the worst prime minister this government had. And his rationale for that, now this is not me, don't say Ragoonath say, don't say that at all. I am merely quoting from somebody else. And his perspective on that is that when you had all that surplus in the economy between 2002 and 2008, more monies could have been saved in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. More emphasis could have been put on diversifying the economy. More emphasis on, at that point in time, because the economy was booming and whatever else, we could have reduced a lot of the subsidies and transfers. No, like I said, this is an economist. And he was making that point. He says more attempts should have been made at that time to reduce subsidies and transfers so that the population would be able to stand on their own 2 feet and not become so dependent upon the government funding all these other things. And he said, in that regard, as far as he's concerned, Patrick Manning was the worst prime minister that we have had. Now, I will not agree with that. But mind you, the points he made from an economic standpoint are valid points. And this is why I say ranking prime ministers would have to depend on a series of factors, which, I mean, really and truly, I have not given that amount of thought to.
So Doc, stay with us for a little. We just gonna go for a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna wrap up. And just stay with us for another minute or so. We're gonna go for a quick station identification, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap up. Of course, we have with us tonight political scientist Dr. Bishnu Ragoonath, no stranger to in the village with the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We're gonna go for a quick short break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. We have with us tonight no other than Dr. Bishnu Ragoonath, a political scientist. So, Dr. Ragoonath, I mean, it's always a pleasure that when you come into the village, you give us a class, you take us like students and bring us into your class, and give us as much knowledge as possible. And not only that, but for those people who are listening on WZYE 95.9 FM, as well as those on YouTube and Facebook, we give them valuable information in order to inform themselves about what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. Especially I like when you talked about, with respect to the 9 independent senators and the UNC being able to accumulate 25 votes and the PNM 39, and if the 9 should go over, it will add up to 34. That was real good information that a lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago needs to think about. I need to have that information, especially when we're going to elect a person so important as the president of Trinidad and Tobago. And we know, jump high, jump low, the next president of Trinidad and Tobago, unless something serious happens, is going to be Mrs. Christine Kangolo. So, any closing words before you go, Doc?
Well, I am glad that you think that I have been able to provide you with a good class. And for your listeners and viewers, I hope that they did enjoy my class for today. I am open to taking any comments and questions from them.
Well, let me see if there's any questions. Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 questions. Hold on, let me see quickly. Hold on. I think I saw. Dr. Ragoonath, will Kamala be a returning PM to Trinidad and Tobago ever again?
I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that.
Okay. Let me see if there's anything else here. Ailey, I'm not going to ask that question, Ailey. So Hailey says the president should not be of the opposition, or the PNM should be from a different party altogether. You agree with that?
Well, not necessarily from a different party, because clearly Trinidad and Tobago is a two-party country. If you want to bring the president from a different party, might put Gary Griffith there or put Philip Alexander there. That's the only other parties that we could talk about at this point in time. Or if we can go back to the ILP, Diana talked about the ILP, so we could bring back Jack Warner, but no, it doesn't have to be from a different party. The point about it is that you want somebody who could have an independent train of thought, as well as willing to act as impartially as possible for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago, and not for one party or the other.
Okay, Doc.
Maybe they should be selected by the public. A sort of a vote.
That too would not necessarily solve the problem. That will not, because we vote purely on party basis, that may not necessarily solve the problem.
Well, no, without knowing what party the person's affiliated. But you know what, Dr. Mohammed? Maybe 3 candidates should be presented to the public and let the public figure from the 3. That's what they need to do.
Well, the point about it is that party politics runs deep in this country, and even if you don't know, you'll find out which party they belong to. It reminds me that in Dominica, there was an election in Dominica in their local government system. And in their local government system, it is categorically stated that party politics should not be part of the the process of electing their local government councils and councillors. And I remember sitting in the Dominican Parliament one day, the day after an election, and a member of the opposition stood up and told the government side, that's why we cut all your tail yesterday in the election. And they say, but wasn't the election contested with all parties? And they say, but everybody know who belonged to which party. And that's the context. So we can't run from that.
Dr. Ragnar, sorry, Dr. Ragnar,
I will have to take Shane away from all there, you know. Shane was my student, you know. All right, good. I'm
sorry.
Yeah, Doc, I call you. Doc, I don't play that there because you are the original. By the way, Zadek, you are I think you were the original political scientist that started us here in the village on WZYE 95.9 FM.
But you see, Anselm, but to show him respect on the show, but I grew up calling him Vishnu, so you know. He calls me Greta. But anyway, down to South America. Do you follow their politics? What's going on in Brazil with the South American Trump? What do you think? And they have the other fella here who they want, but they're going to deport him back to thing I heard. I'm not sure. What do you think is going to become of that?
Who they want to deport back?
The guy, I can't get his name called. He's somewhere in Miami. He had come for medical attention. Correct me if I'm wrong. And something, and they want to deport him back to Brazil. That's what I heard.
The former president?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yes, that's what I was hearing on a news story.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be deported. I know that he flew out of the country before they swore in before he handed over the stash to President Lula.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything about deporting him back to Brazil.
Right.
When I find the story, I'll share it.
It's right here. Jair Bolsonaro could be deported if the U.S. decide he's causing adverse foreign policy consequences. Jair Bolsonaro was thousands of miles away when a mob of his supporters ransacked Brazil capital over the weekend. But the lie that he and his allies told that the far-right former president actually won an election that he lost was what lit the fire of insurrection. Already there are calls for him to return home willingly or not. Late last year, Bolsonaro, while still Brazil head of state, came to Florida with people spotting him everywhere, from fast food joints to grocery stores. He's now in a hospital outside Orlando, where, according to his wife, he's receiving treatment for abdominal pains. As Brazil President, Bolsonaro, a close ally of former President Donald Trump, enjoys something his fellow Brazilians do not: easy access to the United States, courtesy of the type of visa awarded to diplomats and other foreign government officials. And even now that he's a private citizen, Bolsonaro enjoys legal rights that could long delay any forcible return to Brazil, should it come to that.
You think? So what do you think? What do you think is going to become of that?
No, I don't think anything is going to become of that. I think he will remain in the U.S. Because as far as the government of President Lula is going to do, they're going to look for the people who organize the protests and whatever else and charge some of them.
Well, they don't line up quite a few of them already.
Bolsonaro is already was in Florida long before Lula took office. So I don't think they'll point fingers at him. I mean, the same way, well, not the same way. I mean, he's still far away compared to Trump, who was right there and telling people to go to the
So my question, why I posed that question, is it possible, because we had this thing January 6th here in the US.
Right,
now you have it. Now this similar thing happening in Brazil. You think that that fever could spread to Trinidad?
No, Trinidad is a different set of people. Trinidadians don't protest, so don't get involved in politics that much. We'll cuss everybody out and whatever else. But at the end of the day, I mean, think about it. Think about it. When we had the 1818 tie and Robinson removed Pandey as prime minister and put Patrick Manning.
Mm.
If something like that was to happen, that was the time it would have happened. Now, however, we are not that kind of people who will protest and whatever else. Yes, parties are going to be have their fanatics and whatever else, but it's not that widespread. That and people know that they have to live with each other the next day, so they're going to continue living.
And one last question. You know, I follow things all over the world. I saw where they were building a wall between the Dominican Republic and Haiti.
Yeah.
And they're using Haitian labor. You think that sends a good message from the Dominican Republic side?
Well, and all was building a wall too.
Huh?
And all was building a wall.
Who all here? You mean IQ?
You mean building a wall between Mexico and
Hey, you mean IQ 45? Not all, yeah, not me. I wasn't involved in the war. IQ 45. But you think that's a small island. What do they need a wall for?
No, but you have to also understand that even between the Dominican Republic and Haiti, literally, when you look at the vegetation and so on close to the border, has literally been already removed, because Haitians were cutting the trees to use as firewood and whatever else. So, and that is why, when you look at what is happening, I think, and remember a few years, a year ago or 2 years ago, the Dominican Republic was returning Haitians back to Haiti en masse. So it's some that has to be managed properly. But let's put it like this: you have to have money to build those walls, and they have money. And if they're going to use Haitian laborers, well, Haitians need the money, so they're going to do it.
And why I bring up Haiti is because back in the 80s, Haiti was a blooming country. People used to go there. It was early 80s and stuff. I saw a documentary where, ships would dock there and it was pretty much safe. So what's caused the society to spiral out of control like that? Was it the corruption on the Papa Doc, or what was it?
Well, remember the period you were talking about in the 80s was under Papa Doc and Baby Doc.
Right.
After they got into that notion of democratic elections, party politics again played its nasty hand. And that is what we had in the 90s. So in the 90s, I'm trying to remember the president's name. Me at this point in time.
We could Google it.
All right. The president who was removed by the US, sent to South Africa. I can't remember his name right now. He is one of those people who, in fact, Cedras, I think, was one of the people who were leading marches in the streets to overthrow him. Cedras was the military leader. I can't remember the president's name. Anyway.
Duvalier?
No.
Duvalier was name.
Doc.
Duvalier was Doc, yeah. Jean-Claude, right? Baby Doc, that was him.
But the first elected president who was deposed.
Namfree?
Who?
No.
No.
There's a whole lot of stuff here, but go ahead. We'll find it.
In the 1990s, and he was removed. Since that time, Haiti has been very much so unstable.
Jean-Paul Aristide.
Aristide. That's it. I just got it. Yeah.
Thank you, Trinidad Mango.
Aristide.
I just got it.
Aristide was treated as cargo, right?
Right.
You know the story about the cargo.
Go ahead. Enlighten us.
You don't know that story.
Enlighten us.
the U.S. had decided, in order that they get bring back some degree of stability into Haiti, they had to remove President Aristide and his family from Haiti to supposedly under protection. So they sent a U.S. military plane to collect Aristide and his family in Haiti. They decided that the only place that they were going to take them was to South Africa. So they decided to take them to South Africa. The story is, and this is a story coming out from, to some extent, I think it was Antigua, because the plane left Haiti, landed in Antigua to be refueled to do the cross-Atlantic trip from Antigua to South Africa. And of course, on the manifest of the plane, which they had to declare in Antigua, and they asked, "What are you carrying on this plane?" And even though it was the president and his family, they were declared as cargo.
You
So,
see,
Doc,
learning stuff.
Yeah, Doc, we don't want to keep you any longer because you've been here with us here tonight for a long time. We appreciate you taking the time to come join us here and share the knowledge here in the village of the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, we're always going to be calling you to bring you back. Any closing words before you go?
We could only hope and pray for the best for 2023.
Correct, is right.
Whereas for you all in the north, I wish you all health and prosperity. For us in Trinidad, I wish us safety first, health second, and if we get prosperity, well, so be it.
Doc, thank you so very kindly. We appreciate it.
And before you go, Vishnu, I heard one of our neighbors died, huh?
Yeah, your neighbor next door.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
thank you very much, Doc. It's a pleasure.
Good night.
Same here.
Okay. All right. So there you have it, folks. Dr. Bishnu Ragoonath, political scientist. So, folks, if you're still there, just put closing comments in the chat. We went over a little bit tonight, but we do it here in the village with the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. Let me see. Closing comment. Me. Oh, okay. I got something. I gotta read this. Let me read this. I got these closing comments here. Let me get it on my phone. I want to read this one here. Okay. It says, I'm 100% confident that my mother's prayers have saved my life more than I can imagine. I'm 100% confident that my mother's prayers have saved my life more than I can imagine. And I want to read others. If you feel like you're losing everything, remember that trees lose their leaves every year, and they stand still, they still stand tall and wait for better days to come. If you feel like you're losing everything, remember that trees lose their leaves every year, and they still stand tall and wait for better days to come. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall. So that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. See you. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, I just want to say, we can't live for ourselves, but because we are connected by thousands of fibers to our fellow man. And maybe alone by ourselves, we can do a small amount, but you come together. Like if you put a bunch of toothpicks together, the whole bunch, it's harder to break them, but you could break one solitary toothpick easily. We can do so much together. And there's immense power when a group of people with the similar interests get together to work toward the same goal. I am Diana Benskin, your poet and your global ambassador. Happy New Year. Auf Wiedersehen. Till we meet again. Good night, beloved peeps.
Thank you, Diana. Where, Tommy?
You know, you were just talking about your mother's prayer. I lift up this hand to show that today I was in a vehicular collision, and it was my mother's prayer, I think, that saved my life.
Yeah, Tommy, I see your hand, man. Your hand wrapped, man.
Yep. I was in a collision, a serious collision today.
Wow.
But thank God, this is all I have to show for it. Anyway.
Thank God, man.
Yes. So, like I said, like you said, your mother's prayer saved your life. I think my mother's prayer saved my life too. Thank you, Mom, for those words. But Bruce Lee says, don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life. What you're not changing.
Did anyone ever actually
believe it? All right. Anyways, a pleasant good night to all. It's been a pleasure being in the village tonight. Today hasn't been my best day, but I guess being alive is good enough to make it a great day.
There you go, Tommy. Sometimes, sometimes these things happen and, you're just happy to come out of it and, have some small pains, but nothing significant.
So all week, all from last Thursday, I had no heat. So I was dealing with the sub temperatures up here because my unit my furnace needed a power strip. So no matter how you crank it, the heat ain't coming. So I had to wait for them to order the part. So I was in my condo here freezing. All the clothes I got on still cold. So we're alive. At least we're alive.
Yeah, Trinidad Margot said, thank God you okay.
Yeah.
Ken John says, George Michael Chambers was also one of the best prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago also. Here we are. Richard Jacob. Richard, welcome, man. Welcome. Aristide, a Jesuit priest. Yes, Trinidad Margot said, Aristide. Ken John says, blessings to you, Miss Rose. My dear, blessings. Be safe. Shalom.
I went to school with George Chambers' daughter.
Who?
Andrea.
Andrea was my good friend, man.
Yeah.
Real
I remember
good.
one day I was skating, going, it was late, raining, and here come the vehicle that would bring her. And she opened it and let me in and dried me off. I rode to school. It wasn't far, but I rode in that vehicle.
Andrea Chambers Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a name now. So folks, it's a pleasure. I don't really see any closing comments in the chat, but thank you guys so much for joining us. We're gonna go out tonight with, let me see, what do I have up here, man?
Stalin.
What we're gonna go out with? What Stalin we're gonna go out with tonight?
Any Stalin.
All right, let's go.
My favorite one, Help, right?
Let's go out with Stalin. Help. H-E-L-P. We're gonna go out with Stalin. Help.
Everybody feeling it.
So folks, it's a pleasure. So we're gonna go out with Stalin. Help. Take care and see you again on Thursday. It's a pleasure for everyone being in the village. Nadia says, bless, good night, everyone. Stay safe until let's go out with a Stalin tonight. Help. We need help, but better days are coming. Yeah. We need help, but better days are coming.
feeling the pain, we can't take the pressure. Pain, we crying. Somebody got to do something. Right now we really need a Messiah to take we out of this big disaster. For everything at all, look, we try it all in vain. Rich or poor, black or white, we feel it the same, pain. St. James, Belmont, Citrus, and Scarborough. Somebody gotta do something. Somebody gotta fix something. Somebody do something. Somebody gotta run something. Calm down. Only losses today and no gain. Hell, fire. Somebody got to ease up the pressure. Like nobody seems to care about it for. All them rich people close up the door. And who have the head to carry it through and through. Only care about themselves and not for me and you. Then dance, Belmont, Labyrinth, Arima. Somebody gotta run something. Somebody. Somebody gotta fix something. Somebody do something. Come on. Again. Nobody seems to care about this suffering. Heartaches, we get it. Sometimes it makes me feel like revolting. This thing keep going on year after year. How much more could more people bear? Somebody got to put a hand to the wheel. But who don't care in the long run going to feel. Rio Claro, Enterprise, Sandy Grande, Sando, somebody, somebody run something, somebody gotta do something.